It's Tuesday, January 6th. Today, incidents of hate-motivated crimes, communities on edge, and police say there is no place for hate in Winnipeg. Also, an uncertain future. Winnipeg's Venezuelan community worried about the country's president is captured in a controversial U.S. operation. And later today, going for a spin on the Rideau Canal, a treasured Canadian pastime is now open. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail is live at Aurora Farm today, which is a great place to visit. They have, of course, baby goats, and they have all kinds of alpacas and all kinds of great animals. They also have really great skin care that they create right on the farm itself. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. She's going to take us around and show us the animals as well. But the weather is pretty nice for the animals to be outside right now.
Yes, and if you like what we had yesterday, you're going to love what we have today. Very similar conditions, maybe a touch cooler, but we are going to be dealing with mild conditions, temperatures specifically, off and on through the rest of the week. So that's the good news. It is a little bit chillier today to start off than it was yesterday. That wind chill definitely more of a factor. We're at -9 degrees. That wind chill making it feel more like -17. Yesterday it was just a few degrees difference. It is misty out there once again. That stratus that's been lingering around causing those fog patches and maybe some freezing drizzle is misting us this morning. Wind strong out of the northwest at 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 93%. So yes, more clouds on the way under that mist and that fog. You can see a good dense accumulation of it here, particularly in Winnipeg. Northern Manitoba decently cloudy to start off, but you're actually going to be dealing with more sunshine than we are today, than we are here in the south rather. Our futurecast shows this a little bit clearer. So we have a couple speckles here. We still will have a slight chance of some flurry activity through southern Manitoba, about a 30% shot. While we start to lose some clouds into the afternoon, the north starts off clear, and then some clouds roll in, bringing more of a mix of sun and cloud. Here, this system here has a slight chance of bringing some flurry activity overnight, tracking through northern Manitoba, while we start to see partly cloudy skies. Into tomorrow, we clear out nicely. We get more sunshine on the way, and the good news is sometimes it can be a bit of a trade-off where we lose heat. That will not be the case through the next couple of days. So today, -7 degrees, not the case at all tomorrow as we get that sunshine back. Much warmer at -2, considering -13 is typical. As you can see, we're not back towards that in time until the weekend.
Thank you, Catherine. Within 2 days, Winnipeg was hit with 2 incidents of hate-motivated crimes. A synagogue was vandalized with graffiti Friday morning, and on Sunday morning, a Palestinian-owned restaurant was vandalized by a man who left a note calling them terrorists. CTV's Harrison Shin shows us the message Winnipeg police are sending.
2 days, 2 locations vandalized, one with anti-Semitic graffiti, another windows smashed and racist message. Police have not connected them, but say there is no place for hate in Winnipeg.
We take these events very seriously. I don't care if it's a broken window. I don't care if it's graffiti on a bus bench. With what's happening in our world today, we can't afford to not take these seriously, and we do.
Police are investigating 2 incidents. Around 4:30 a.m. on Friday morning, several swastika symbols were sprayed on the Shaarei Tzedek synagogue.
What happened was an act to intimidate and frighten and isolate the Jewish community, and we will not let that happen.
Then, around the same time on Sunday morning, a Palestinian-owned restaurant was hit. Windows were broken, and a message was left at Habibi's Cafe near Polo Park, saying, quote, "Leave our country, terrorists," and ending with a profanity.
It's overwhelming. The amount of stress, the amount of the staff that are scared, my parents are scared.
Winnipeg police said during a press conference Monday that dedicated hate crime investigators are looking into both incidents. Inspector Jen McKinnon stressed the investigations are in the early stage. Advocates for both the Muslim and the Jewish community are calling on all levels of governments to step up.
What we need to see is clear action from our elected officials at all levels of government, right? So we need to see clear recognition of anti-Palestinian racism in its intersections with Islamophobia.
Our politicians and our leaders need to be vocal and condemn it as much as they can.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police say anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Winnipeg police say the service laid 28 charges of hate-motivated crimes in 2022. In 2023, the number jumped nearly twice, 46 charges. In 2024, it was 44. Numbers for 2025 are not yet available. Please note there could be more incidents that haven't been reported. A disgraced former Winnipeg police officer who spent 22 years on the force has admitted to selling drugs to other officers and friends. In court Monday, Elston Bostock pleaded guilty to one charge of drug trafficking between January the 1st, 2016 and November 6, 2024, and trafficking cocaine, ecstasy, psilocybin, and various prescription drugs over an 8-year period. An agreed statement of facts read in court said he was trafficking drugs while on duty as a uniformed police officer in the parking lots of Winnipeg police stations and from his police vehicle. His sentencing hearing for the drug trafficking charges is happening Tuesday, January 13th. Bostock was first arrested and charged in 2024 for several offenses after WPS colleagues came forward with concerns. In November, Bostock pleaded guilty to other offenses, including causing indignity to human remains. Boil water advisories for several Calgary neighborhoods near a major water main break have been lifted. But people there are still being asked to conserve water, so demand does not outstrip supply.
We are now living in a new reality of water conservation, a new reality where using less water is part of everyday life, a new reality of truly valuing this life-enabling resource.
It's the second time within a year and a half that a section of the water main has burst. The pipes supply 60% of the treated water for the city of 1.6 million people. The general manager of the Winnipeg Jets addressed the media Monday as the team is bogged down in a 9-game losing streak. But Kevin Cheveldayoff didn't have many answers as to why or what's being done about it.
Again, very disappointed. Didn't necessarily see it coming, but if you look at all the different things, it's a tough league to win in, and certainly the situation that we're in with, be it 1-goal games, be it giving not maybe playing to the defensive structure that has become our signature for the last couple of years, all of a sudden you find yourself in this predicament.
Cheveldayoff added it's up to everyone in the organization to find ways to get better as the team works to climb out of the basement 1 year after being ranked the best team in the league. He was also non-committal when asked about calling up players not currently on the roster, such as prospects from the Moose or elsewhere in the league, only saying conversations are ongoing. Cheveldayoff was also asked his thoughts on how head coach Scott Arneal is doing.
Scott and his coaching staff, are working extremely hard. There's no ifs, ands about that. Again, I think there's a frustration level, with them as well. From a coaching perspective, again, they're trying to do everything that they can. From a management perspective, we have to look at different, avenues at some point in time here to see if there is something available. But again, it's not an ideal situation, and I know they feel the same disappointment that I do.
After 40 games played, the Jets currently sit in last place in the NHL with a 15-21-4 record with 34 points. The team kicks off a 5-game homestand tonight at 8 p.m. against the Vegas Golden Knights. Fort Wet Alive brings in visitors year-round. In the winter, you can skate, ski, and toboggan down a slide onto the frozen lake. And soon, you'll have another option, ice fishing. The Fort Wet Ice Fishing Experience will operate throughout the winter and is for people of all experience levels. Everyone from people trying ice fishing for the first time to families looking for a new outdoor activity during the long winter months. And you won't have to spend the entire time exposed to the elements. There will be warm tents available with guided ice fishing and storytelling options available. Dates and booking information is expected to be released in the near future. A bluefin tuna reeled in a record $4.4 million at a fish auction in Tokyo. The 243-kilogram fish was caught off the northern Japanese coast. The winning bid came from a popular sushi chain and breaks down to about $18,000 per kilogram. That's some fish. Here's a look at what's going on outside now on the street on Osborne Street. So far, it's a good start to this Tuesday morning. If you see any problems out on the street, please text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Aurora Farm this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. I am so hungry. I could eat a Christmas tree. Now, this is what the goats here are actually doing. And what's interesting is it's actually garnered media attention from the United States as well. So this is pretty darn cool. So later on in the show, we're going to head out and see how many Christmas trees have been donated so far for the goats. And they eat them all the way into the spring. It's actually used for mulch later on as well, so this is extremely sustainable. Something else that you can do when you come to Aurora Farm is make your own soap. Now, people want the goat milk soap anyways, so to be able to have your own batch, this is one batch. So I don't think I would need even that for the whole year. I think my neighbors would be getting some soap.
It looks good enough to eat as well. It looks like cake. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It looks like a mild start this Tuesday morning.
You know, it is, but it is a bit more icier, if you will, with that wind chill value than yesterday. Not to be concerned. We are dealing with another above seasonal day, but we got to get through these chillier periods first. It's minus 10 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like minus 18. It's misty, slightly foggy out here, as is the case through much of southern Manitoba, and was the case yesterday. Winds out of the west-northwest ramping up at 22 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 92%. So northern Manitoba, many regions dealing with some flurry activity to start off the day. That's that kind of weak signal that began yesterday. It should taper off throughout the morning. And from there, you get a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures a little bit warmer than what you saw to kick off the week. So that's highs into the mid to upper minus teens. For some very northerly regions, it'll crack the minus 20 degree mark. And those wind chills this morning, quite chilly at minus 30 and above. For us here in the south, we'll start off with some flurries for first parts of the province, Brandon included. Clouds will stick around, but another above seasonal day with the sunshine in short supply. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. Your Morning Winnipeg returns just ahead.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are. We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Good morning. Manitoba's premier is expected to visit Pimicikamak Cree Nation this week to survey damage caused by an extended power failure. Premier Wab Kinew is expected to arrive in the Northern First Nation on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Manitoba government says it has asked Ottawa for military help to be sent to Pimicikamak, whose residents were forced out over the holidays when a power line failed, plunging the community into darkness. Power was restored last week, but the community's water plants, along with pumps, tanks, and pipes, froze in the outage. Chief David Monia says there's no timeline to return for the more than 4,000 people who had to leave. A 14-year-old is facing charges after an incident last fall in which a transit driver was shot with a pellet gun. It happened along this route in East Kildonan back on October 27th. Police believe the driver was shot in the hand over a fare dispute. The force says the youth was arrested at his home Sunday. He's charged with assault with a weapon, failure to comply with an undertaking, and mischief under $5,000. Winnipeg fire crews battled an intense fire this weekend that fully engulfed a Transcona garage. Flames could be seen coming out of the building in the 400 block of Melrose Avenue West. It happened just before 1 in the morning Sunday. The city says it took roughly an hour to fully extinguish the blaze. The cause is under investigation. Some people from the local Venezuelan community are relieved President Nicolás Maduro is no longer in power. In a controversial move over the weekend, the United States captured Maduro and brought him to the U.S. where he faces charges. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, one Winnipeg family from Venezuela is happy about it, but says many back home are still afraid.
Luis Antonio Rodriguez Benito and his daughter Ana are closely watching the dramatic events unfolding in Venezuela.
And we are glad when we see, oh, Maduro is out. I couldn't believe it, though.
Yeah, we can't believe it yet, but you know,
so many years.
He's out.
On Saturday, the United States announced they'd captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and brought him to the U.S. to face charges. Luis decided to leave Venezuela for Winnipeg with his daughter a decade ago, alleging there were several attempts by the Maduro government to take his home. The last straw was a threat late one night.
I wake up in my own house, in my own bed, 12 o'clock at night with a gun in my head.
So he and Anna are relieved Maduro is no longer in power.
People in Venezuela, there's young people that have hope for the future.
I'm happy. I know it's not, let's say, right thing to do, but I'm very thankful for Trump, for the States, the United States.
Maduro has been accused of stealing the 2024 election in his country. Still, there are questions about the legality of the U.S.'s capture of Maduro.
That's complete violation of international law and norms.
A group rallied in Winnipeg Sunday against President Trump's decision, demanding action by the Canadian government.
They must condemn the U.S. seizure of President Maduro, and they must demand his return.
There are many Venezuelans who don't want Maduro returned, and while they are overjoyed he is gone, they are worried about what is now an uncertain future.
And it's not over yet. We are not free. You know, the people inside Venezuela is not celebrate because they are afraid.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is vowing to follow through on his threat to remove Crown Royal from store shelves as soon as the bottling plant in southern Ontario closes next month.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait. Yeah, 100%. As soon as they close that plant, so you better stock up there, buddy.
Ford first put parent company Diageo in his crosshairs last fall when he poured out a bottle of the whiskey to protest the company's decision to close its plant in Amherstburg. Diageo also had plants in Gimli, Manitoba, and in Quebec, and the company says its Crown Royal products will continue to be made at Canadian facilities. The University of Winnipeg has welcomed its first cohort of students into its new Indigenous language program. It's geared towards adults who know a little Anishinaabe, also known as Ojibwe, and would like to build up their fluency. The 3-year program includes immersion classes, along with some land-based learning. An assistant professor says the program is about more than just the practical parts of learning a language.
A lot of our people, my family as well, that the language got cut off, so my dad didn't learn it, and you know, every family has that similar history of where did it get cut off somewhere, maybe because of residential school, or maybe they had to move to get a job somewhere else, or so that's that we're healing, we're bridging that gap.
The program is supported by a $2 million funding boost from the province. After being eliminated from the gold medal match when they fell to Czechia Sunday night, Canada has captured the bronze at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Centers it. Here's Hayes with the backhand shot, ripping it down, rebound, score!
Sam O'Reilly scored twice, and Gavin McKenna had a goal and 3 assists. The Canadians went on to beat Finland 6-3. The medal is Canada's first at the World Juniors in 3 years. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the southbound median lane on King Edward Street will be closed between Dublin and Saskatchewan, and the northbound middle and curb lanes on Osborne will be closed from Jesse to McMillan. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
A misty start to your Tuesday and cloudy too. It's minus 10 degrees, that wind chill making it feel closer to minus 18. Winds stronger specifically than we were yesterday out of the west-northwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 92%. So this stratus that brought those very foggy conditions continue making misty, maybe some snowy morning starts for much of southern Manitoba. Our temperatures too a little bit frostier than we saw yesterday. We're seeing current conditions rather of minus 12 in Brandon, minus 14 in Dauphin. Very chilly in the Pas to kick us off at minus 24. And further north we go, chilly conditions persist. Minus 24 in Lynn Lake, minus 20 in Churchill, minus 14 in Island Lake, downright balmy for that neck of the woods. However, there is that wind chill to consider. It's likely to exceed minus 30 later on this morning. Still pretty rough at minus 28 in Churchill, minus 29 in Thompson, while we're dealing with much more manageable conditions. conditions. However, you still need to bundle for the conditions that we mentioned. However, there is still that slight chance as you put the kids on the bus of some flurry activity. They've definitely seen some of that already in Portage la Prairie and Brandon to kick us off. We too could be seeing a little bit of those flakes fly as the kids head on the bus. -9 degrees, -7 as they take lunch, and then -8 on the way home. In terms of our temperature, -7 degrees will be our high. We don't get a lot of fluctuation overnight, -11 under partly cloudy skies. Then into tomorrow, we don't deal with that usual trade-off. We get the sunshine back and we keep the warmth. In fact, we get even warmer to the tune of -2, considering -13 is typical. I'm pretty excited about that. Your Skywatch picture of the day snapped by Nancy, South Winnipeg. A gorgeous shot of that buck. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Centre, and this is your last chance to win tickets. 6 winners will get 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. Make it right and don't miss out on that chance. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword renovation. Good luck. French President Emmanuel Macron greeted Prime Minister Mark Carney in Paris this morning ahead of a meeting about Ukraine. The Coalition of the Willing is set to meet today. It's a group of more than 30 countries which have pledged to support Ukraine. They are gathering to talk peace and plans toward a possible ceasefire. Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to meet directly with a number of world leaders, including Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte and the heads of state from Denmark and Finland. A senior government official says security guarantees for Ukraine will be a major part of the talks. Carney is expected to talk about the role Canada could play in an eventual ceasefire agreement. Canada's oil sector is reacting to President Trump saying the U.S. would take control of Venezuela's oil reserves. CTV's Rachel Ayala reports.
Global oil prices surged, but Canadian energy stocks were down today as the market absorbed the potential implications of U.S. President Donald Trump tapping Venezuelan reserves.
I think everybody needs to take a deep breath. There are so many steps between here and them starting to grow production enough to really start to compete with Canadian oil.
After ex-leader Nicolas Maduro's weekend capture, Trump sent shockwaves around the globe, musing about more military invasions.
It's by no means all about the oil. It's about someone defying an American president. That's a pretty powerful example for those who are left.
Canada is no stranger to Trump's annexation threats, but the president's former national security advisor says he doesn't think this country is at risk.
I think any kind of move against Greenland or even more far-fetched against Canada would be the end of the NATO alliance. It would do incalculable damage, not just to the United States, but to the entire Western world.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's response so far has been careful, and critics say Trump's actions are exactly why Canada increasing its economic, military, and diplomatic independence is essential.
Internally, I think this boosts the obligation for Canada to get very serious, for Parliament to get very serious about diversifying our trade exports beyond the irrational administration of the United States.
Carney spoke to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado on Sunday, pledging Canada's support for a peaceful, negotiated, and Venezuelan-led transition process. And Venezuelans in Canada expressed cautious optimism today.
We're pretty happy of what transpired.
The biggest happiness to the biggest worries.
I think it's time for Venezuelans to be happy again.
Global Affairs is urging Canadians to avoid all travel to Venezuela, citing the unstable political situation and escalating security risks.
Here's what's happening outside at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like things are moving well at this part of the city at this stage in the drive. We'll be right back after this short break.
our eye to the sky. It's looking foggy and misty out there. Minus 10 degrees, that wind chill making it feel closer to minus 18. Winds out of the west-northwest at 22 clicks. Pressure on the rise. Humidity at 92%. We've had some pretty interesting dense fog the last couple of days. I should say one day, let's not exaggerate, through much of southern Manitoba. The reason for that is the stratus that pushed in. Under it, freezing rain, fog patches, and some more solid precipitation in the form of flurry activity. We are seeing that continue today. It doesn't quite pick up on the radar, but you do see that cloud coverage roll in. That means we have a slight chance of some flurry activity through the day. We've gotten a little bit of that mist, as mentioned. Areas to the west of us have gotten the flakes flying. It's likely we're going to stay dry, however, as the day progresses. We'll just get some clouds. Highs, though, above seasonal at minus 7 degrees by a good margin, considering minus 13 is what's typical. And those winds will ease up a little bit and shift out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight, skies turn partly cloudy. Temperatures barely moving to minus 11. Winds do get a little bit faster and furious out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. Don't think that's a word. Into tomorrow, the sunshine returns and we get even warmer, if you can believe it. Minus 2 degrees with those southerly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. From there, we have a couple more days of above seasonal values to enjoy and lots of sunshine to boot. Minus 16 degrees or 6 degrees. Watch my language on Thursday, minus 7 under a mix of sun and cloud on Friday. Saturday, though, we're back towards more typical temperatures, but by Sunday, we're easing up again at minus 4 degrees.
Police say a man is in custody and a woman is recovering after officers broke up a random assault downtown. They were driving along Portage Avenue Sunday afternoon when they saw a man attacking a woman, knocking her to the ground near the corner of Portage and Donald Street. Officers intervened and used a taser to control the suspect. Police say the woman, who was in her 30s, suffered minor injuries but didn't need medical attention. A 31-year-old man was arrested and remains in custody. Police say the pair didn't know each other and the alleged assault appears to have been unprovoked. A woman has died in custody at the Women's Correctional Center in Headingley. Manitoba Justice says the 26-year-old died Saturday but was unable to provide any further details, citing privacy reasons. It adds the death has been reported to the chief medical examiner. The effects of last summer's devastating wildfires in Manitoba are still present and will impact recreational forest users this year. On Monday, the province announced plans for the restoration of Nopaming Provincial Park are being finalized. Campgrounds at Bird and Beresford Lakes are expected to fully reopen for the 2026 summer season. Talabi Falls Campground is also likely to partially reopen for the May long weekend, though the group use site and walk-in backcountry sites will stay closed. Black Lake will remain closed to nightly and seasonal camping, and backcountry canoe routes will also be closed, though some routes will reopen in stages. In the Whiteshell, plans for restoration of the Mantario Trail are being prepared. The province says due to the magnitude of the damage, Mantario will likely be closed well into the summer. Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro appeared in a New York federal courtroom yesterday on charges of narco-terrorism. This after the United States captured him in a surprise military attack over the weekend. And now Donald Trump is putting other countries on notice. CTV's Joy Malbon is in Washington with the details.
An extraordinary moment. Venezuela's former president and his wife, Celia Flores, handcuffed and escorted by officers, appearing in a U.S. federal court charged with narco-terrorism, cocaine importation, and weapons offenses. Nicolas Maduro defiantly telling the judge in Spanish, "I was captured at my home in Caracas, Venezuela. I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am still the president of my country." As many question, was the U.S. military strike even legal? Some demonstrators outside the courthouse cheered President Trump for bringing down a brutal dictator. Others pleaded no more war.
There is no war against Venezuela or its people. We are not occupying a country. This was a law enforcement operation.
The U.S. strike condemned at an emergency meeting at the United Nations, including by some U.S. allies.
The Charter enshrines the prohibition of the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
Still, President Donald Trump's not backing down.
We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time.
insisting America will tap into Venezuela's rich oil supply, warning Maduro's acting President Delcy Rodriguez to cooperate or else.
If they don't behave, we will do a second strike.
And boldly issuing new threats against Mexico, Greenland, and Colombia, now beefing up its military on the Venezuelan border.
Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long.
The White House says its actions are justified. As for Maduro, he calls himself a prisoner of war in what's expected to be a lengthy trial. If convicted, he could face life behind bars.
After being appointed as Ukraine's advisor on economic development, Chrystia Freeland says she will now resign from Parliament in the next few weeks. In a post on social media, Freeland says she will also be stepping away from her most recent role as the Prime Minister's special representative for the reconstruction of Ukraine. Prior to Freeland's statement, a source told CTV News that Ukrainian President Zelensky asked Freeland to take on the role on December 22nd. She informed Prime Minister Mark Carney of her decision on December 24th. The source also says the position is not full-time and is unpaid, with Zelensky wanting Freeland to organize an international advisory council on the reconstruction of Ukraine. Prime Minister Mark Carney posted to social media yesterday thanking Freeland for her work on Ukraine, calling her uniquely qualified for the new role. Quebec wants to make politeness mandatory in school.
I always say, leave it up to the teachers. The teachers know best.
In French, using vous is considered a more formal way to address other people. Quebec has now put in place a rule for students to address their teachers using vous, madame, and monsieur. The province's logic is that more acts of respect will lead to better atmospheres in classrooms. Teachers say this rule was already informally in place at many schools. I was taught to address my grandparents that way. Here's what's happening now in traffic along Main and Broadway. It looks like things are pretty good over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.22. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09. And the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, Ainsley McPhail is live at Aurora Farm this morning. They make a lot of beautiful products that you could use every day in your life. We're going to find out more about them. Stay with us.
Start to your Tuesday, maybe not quite as warm as yesterday, but considering we were dealing with some deep freeze conditions just last week, I'm pretty happy with our current state of affairs. It's minus 10 degrees, the wind chill though making it feel closer to minus 18. It's misty, foggy, and cloudy. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sits at 92%. So northern Manitoba, while many next to that woods are dealing with some flurry activity kick off the day, likely you're going to be dealing with mostly sunshine going forward once those flurries taper off. Temperatures there into the mid to upper minus teens. For areas more northerly, your Churchills and whatnot, could feel upwards of minus 20. Of course, that wind chill quite oppressive this morning in the minus 30 degree mark. For us here in the south, we're dealing with some very interesting precipitation. Mist, maybe a freezing drizzle, depending on where you're at. It's showing up like flurries in Brandon and Napoa. We're actually getting a little dusting of snowfall in Winnipeg. We have that risk of it off and on throughout the day. Likely it'll be cloudy with temperatures very mild at minus 7 degrees in Winnipeg with some mild winds. Good news is the sunshine returns tomorrow and we don't even lose the heat. I guarantee you, no matter how good a morning you're having, Ainsley McPhail is having a better one because she's spending it at Aurora Farm. Ainsley.
Good morning. Not only am I waving, but the Grinch is waving too. Look at this rosemary. Hello. We're at Aurora Farm, as Catherine mentioned. Good morning, Louise May. Let's talk about the spread we have here because you've got some workshops coming up.
Absolutely. Well, you know, gardening is a year-round thing for me, for us, and it just right now we've got our first seedlings up. We've got some mature plants that we're making cuttings. I'm starting to get all my seeds in the mail. So it's a really exciting time for the garden. So we've also put out our Hands on Herbs series for the summer. And what that is that every full moon we'll do a Hands on Herbs class, which teaches you all the basics of how to make tinctures, oils, oxymels, decoctions, all the natural herbal remedy things that you hear about. I'm gonna teach you how to make them from the plants that we have here. And we have over 120 plants, types of herbs growing on the property now. It's quite a robust ecosystem that we've built over 20 years. And so we're excited to share that.
Decoctions. The thing about decoctions is, it sounds like I'd be coming in and making concoctions. Well, people can do that though.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to call them potions, but it's it's just using the plant material to bring them into our life and make us better, more well. It's a wellness.
I love that. And connection. Okay, this is this. Can you believe it?
Yeah, well, this is more or less a mature. Of course, the rosemary is a Mediterranean plant, and if we were in southern Italy, it would be, a big bush. But in Manitoba, we have to bring them in the winter. But I've just started a whole bunch of seeds, and they've just popped up. So for me, whenever the first seeds start coming up in my greenhouse, then I really feel like, okay, I can see the spring. I can see it coming, even though it's midwinter.
I love it. That's a really, well, you know what? During the break, I will be planning my trip to southern Italy. Okay, more from Aurora Farm coming up.
Here's a look at the early markets. The morning, the Dow Jones lost 91 points. The Nasdaq is up 18 points. The S&P index is slightly flat. The Canadian dollar increased a little to 72.66 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 363 points, and the Nikkei jumped 685 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A Winnipeg semi-driver is dead after being hit by another big rig south of Winnipeg. It happened around 1 in the afternoon Saturday on Highway 75, just south of Saint-Jean-Baptiste. Mounties say the driver, a 57-year-old man, parked his semi on the side of the highway, got out, and was hit. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other semi, a 33-year-old man from Winnipeg, was uninjured. RCMP are still investigating, but at this time say it's unknown why the driver left his vehicle. The majority of Winnipeg rooming houses inspected by fire prevention officers in 2024 weren't safe enough. That's according to a new report at City Hall. It says inspectors looked at 141 of the city's 147 licensed rooming houses with shared facilities, and just 27% were compliant at first inspection. The most common issues had to do with fire and smoke alarm systems, followed by fire escape maintenance and fire extinguishers. There were also 32 infractions for garbage accumulation. The report says the city received 94 complaints from the public about rooming houses in 2024, and nearly a fifth of those were for a single property in Fort Richmond. Brandon's Civic Services complex is reopening 2 years after a natural gas explosion rocked the building. In September 2023, an explosion at 900 Richmond Avenue East sent a city employee to hospital and caused serious damage requiring extensive repairs. In a release sent Monday, the city says the building will reopen to the public Thursday. It says some services will not be available in person yet as staff start transitioning back. The Civic Services complex is home to departments such as risk management, Brandon Transit, and building maintenance. Global oil prices are up again this morning after the U.S. operation in Venezuela.
There are so many steps between here and them starting to grow production enough to really start to compete with Canadian oil.
But Canadian energy stocks took a hit yesterday over the possibility of Venezuelan oil coming to market. Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves, but experts say it will take years to get that oil out of the ground. Boil water advisories for several Calgary neighborhoods near a major water main break have been lifted, but people there are still being asked to conserve water so demand does not outstrip supply.
We are now living in a new reality of water conservation, a new reality where using less water is part of everyday life, a new reality of truly valuing this life-enabling resource.
It's the second time within a year and a half that a section of the water main has burst. The pipe supplies 60% of the treated water for the city of 1.6 million people. The teaser trailer for the King's new documentary is offering royal watchers a rare look at one of his private residences.
We are nature ourselves. We are a part of it, not apart from it.
The trailer for King Charles's upcoming documentary, Finding Harmony, A King's Vision, was released last week, and fans quickly noticed some scenes from a never-before-seen residence, which is his countryside home known as Highgrove House. A second royal residence, Dumfries House, is also briefly shown. The documentary will be narrated by Kate Winslet and is set to start streaming early next month. The Toronto Zoo is celebrating a very happy birthday. Tom, their white rhino, has just turned 19. White rhinos are one of the world's largest land mammals and are endangered because of poaching and habitat loss. Tom marked his big day with some enrichment treats and some extra love from his care team. Happy birthday to him. And some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the southbound median lane on King Edward Street will be closed between Dublin and Saskatchewan. And the northbound middle and curb lanes on Osborne will be closed from Jesse to McMillan. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us.
Taking a look outside, it's minus 10 degrees as we kick off your Tuesday. That wind chill, though, making it feel closer to minus 18. There was a light dusting of snow as I was up on the rooftop, accompanied by a bit of mist and fog. Winds out of the west-northwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising. Humidity sits at 92%. So yesterday, we had this impulse cross through northern Manitoba, and below it, we had some stratus that was bringing fog, freezing drizzle, and flurries, depending on where you were at. Those foggy conditions continuing this morning, as are the clouds and potentially some flurries. It doesn't do too good a job at coming up on the radar, but you can see that system there. You can see a good amount of cloud coverage, while we too will be dealing with some flurries here to kick off the day. The north likely going to be staying dry. Let me amend that. Let me say that again. You are dealing as well with some flurries to kick off the day. However, you're going to be dealing with more sunshine into the afternoon. There, we got it right. Temperatures, though, a little bit cooler than what you're used to this time of year. Minus 18 degrees in Thompson and Gillam, minus 20 in Churchill, minus 14 in Island Lake. To the northwest, as mentioned, some flurry activity to kick off the day, but from there, a mix of sun and cloud. A bit more mild in terms of your temperatures in the mid to upper minus teens. Southwestern Manitoba, you've already dealt with some flurry activity. You have about a 30% shot of that continuing into the afternoon. Likely, though, it's going to be cloudy. Highs, though, above seasonal at minus 8 in Brandon and Neepawa and Dauphin. A little bit cooler there in Swan River. For our area, overcast skies, slight chance of flurry activity throughout the day. Temperatures hovering around minus 6 degrees through much of the region, a bit cooler in Barons River. Meanwhile, some flurry activity likely in northwestern Ontario with mild temperatures as well. Overnight, skies stay partly cloudy with temperatures dipping down to minus 11, and tomorrow that sunshine emerges, and with it more above seasonal values at minus 2 degrees, and they last for the better part of the week before we get a cool down on Saturday.
Thanks, Catherine. Some Canadian travelers were disrupted by U.S. military action in Venezuela. CTV's Matt Gilmore speaks to passengers about the delays and whether it could change their future plans.
In advance of the United States attack on Venezuela, the U.S. warned commercial airlines to avoid flying within 100 miles of Venezuelan airspace. Courtney Almeida was scheduled to fly home from Costa Rica on January 2nd, but when she got to the airport, it was chaos.
It was crazy. People are just on the floor for 3.5, 4 hours, and then we're going to fly, and then it's delayed again, canceled again. So, yeah, at one point I was told to sleep on the floor of the airport.
Almeida says she spent the entire next day waiting for the airline to sort through the backlog. Instead of a direct flight home to Toronto, she was eventually put on an overnight flight to Montreal. As of Monday afternoon, she'd been waiting over 36 hours for a connection.
I was at the hotel last night. I've arrived here today, and I've already been told my flight is delayed.
On Sunday, Donald Trump threatened further military intervention in neighboring Colombia and predicted the government in Cuba is on the verge of collapse. Canada has not issued any new travel advisories for the region, but over the weekend, Air Canada said it would allow customers flying to several Caribbean countries to change their destinations at no cost.
In their case, it's a smart move because they have to get less people out of the country that if it gets shut down.
Travel agent Catherine Villan says she expects some people will think twice about traveling south this winter, but says Cuba has always been a popular destination despite the political situation.
People are pouring into Cuba even when there was no food and there was no toilet paper. I mean, that didn't seem to faze people in the slightest. They just packed it and went.
Sunwing says it's monitoring the situation and at this time is not seeing any significant impact on bookings. At the Montreal airport, Quebecers destined for Cuba had no plans to cancel.
Because I pay. I want to go to playas.
No, I'm not worried about it.
For Almeida, though, who has already been caught up in the fallout, it's not worth the risk.
At one point, I honestly just started crying because I kind of felt like I'm never going to get home, you know? So I'm really hoping I don't have to miss a second day of work.
Travel agents say this is a good reminder to make sure you have travel insurance, especially in these unpredictable times. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Conditions are just right in Ottawa this year, which means the entire length of the Rideau Canal skateway is wide open. CTV's Annie Bergeron Oliver laced up her skates to give us a glimpse.
When the sound of skates carving into the ice echo through downtown, you know Ottawa has hit its stride.
It's beautiful. It's a magnificent thing. But it's the best thing on earth.
Every season, the Rideau Canal Skateway draws more than 1 million visitors. Today, skaters like Andrei Pustarenko and his kids had extra ice to play on. The full 7.8 kilometers is now skatable 5 days after the canal partially opened.
It's super nice. I feel like the ice is really good, yeah, and we're just enjoying ourselves. Been skating for like 30 minutes that way, now we're going back, searching maybe for some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate and beaver tails are a must after a long, chilly skate. Going end to end can take anywhere from 30 minutes to over an hour.
It was awesome. I've been out 3 times, but this is the first time to have done the whole thing, and one of the highlights of the winter here in Ottawa.
A highlight skaters have been enjoying since the skateway first opened in 1971. Some out today on their lunch break.
I thought it was a good opportunity to get out. It's going to get warm later this week. Got to do it now.
That do it now attitude has become increasingly important. Warmer winters have made the skating seasons less predictable. Last year, the canal was open for 52 days, but 2 years ago, it was only open for 10 days. And 3 years ago, it never opened at all. A core winter memory residents and visitors cherish now more than ever.
This is my first time doing it. I'm from Montreal, and I cannot wait to do the full length because apparently it's the most Canadian thing you could do.
Last year, the canal was open for 52 days, but the season didn't start until January 11th. This year, it opened on New Year's Eve, and skaters are hoping this season will be fantastic and even longer than the last. Annie Bergeron Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Our river trail is open too. You know, you should check it out right here in our own hometown. Here's a look at what's happening on McKillop Street. Looks good so far. We'll be right back after this break. It's Tuesday, January 6th. Today, hate crimes investigated, how police are looking into separate vandalism incidents targeting a synagogue and a Palestinian-owned business. Plus, Pimicikamak crisis. The premier heads north as military help is requested and thousands remain displaced. And winter fishing debut. Fort White introduces a guided ice experience with heated tents this season. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next couple of hours, including at 7:52. We're going to find out, we've been partaking in festivities and celebrating with our family and friends.
That's a very kind way of saying it.
Lots of
eating
treats.
Garbage, not getting enough sleep. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of people might have decided to take a pause and go dry in January. Of course, dry January is something that a lot of people do. I do dry February, depending what's going on. But the Canadian Cancer Society is encouraging people to do their own and also to support cancer research. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what you could do and how you could support the Canadian Cancer Society. But getting outside is really good as well for your fitness and if you want to get out there and get a head start.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and it also really helps with that isolation that can come in over winter. I don't know about you, but I really hibernate, especially during the deep freeze. So when we're in these nice periods like now, I really want to get outside and take advantage, help walk off some of that holiday gluttony, if you will. It's minus 10 degrees, a good morning to do it. Wind chill, though, making it feel a little closer to minus 18. Misty and foggy, maybe a little snowy, depending on where you're at in the city. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 92%. Bit of an overcast start to the day, and in that theme, where the sunshine is going to be in short supply today in southern Manitoba. You can see it on our radar. There's a good amount of cloud coverage. Plus, that system that kind of locked in all that fog yesterday is repeating itself with more mist, maybe some ice crystals, and to the west of us in areas of West Manitoba, likely some flurries to kick off the day. While the north, a little bit cloudy, a little bit snowy as well, and more sunshine is on the way for you. Our futurecast gives us a better sense of how this will play out. So you're not even picking up on those little speckles that could be bringing that flurry activity to us in southern Manitoba. In keeping with that, we only have about a 30% shot of that continuing throughout the day. To the north as well, you're starting off with a good amount of cloud coverage and some flurry activity, but as the day progresses, you clear out nicely, particularly there to the northeast, so sunshine on the way, but keeping an eye on this could be bringing some flurry activity overnight, while we here in the south will start to clear out into tomorrow and get that sunshine back. The good news is sometimes this time of year we trade off the heat for the sunshine. That will not be the case. In fact, it'll be the opposite. Minus 7 degrees under the clouds, but tomorrow sunshine and a high of minus 2. Your weather art of the day. Wow, another work of art by 8-year-old Joseph. He is my nephew. The reason for the nepotism this week is because we are running so low on these entries, although Joseph is incredibly talented. So thank you to him for taking some pity on me and sending that photo in. And we'd love for your kids to do the same. Send photos of their weather-themed artwork and email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Within 2 days, Winnipeg was hit with 2 incidents of hate-motivated crimes. A synagogue was vandalized with graffiti Friday morning, and on Sunday morning, a Palestinian-owned restaurant was vandalized by a man who left a note calling them terrorists. CTV's Harrison Shin shows us the message Winnipeg police are sending.
2 days, 2 locations vandalized. One with anti-Semitic graffiti, another windows smashed and racist message. Police have not connected them, but say there is no place for hate in Winnipeg.
We take these events very seriously. I don't care if it's a broken window. I don't care if it's graffiti on a bus bench. With what's happening in our world today, we can't afford to not take these seriously, and we do.
Police are investigating 2 incidents. Around 4:30 a.m. on Friday morning, several swastika symbols were sprayed on the Shaarei Zedek synagogue.
What happened was an act to intimidate and frighten and isolate the Jewish community, and we will not let that happen.
Then, around the same time on Sunday morning, a Palestinian-owned restaurant was hit. Windows were broken, and a message was left at Habibi's Cafe near Polo Park, saying, quote, "Leave our country, terrorists," and ending with a profanity.
It's overwhelming. The amount of stress, the amount of the staff that are scared, my parents are scared.
Winnipeg police said during a press conference Monday that dedicated hate crime investigators are looking into both incidents. Inspector Jen McKinnon stressed the investigations are in the early stage. Advocates for both the Muslim and the Jewish community are calling on all levels of governments to step up.
What we need to see is clear action from our elected officials at all levels of government, right? So we need to see clear recognition of anti-Palestinian racism in its intersections with Islamophobia.
Our politicians and our leaders need to be vocal and condemn it as much as they can.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police say anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Winnipeg police say the service laid 28 charges of hate-motivated crimes in 2022. In 2023, the number jumped nearly twice, 46 charges. In 2024, it was 44. Numbers for 2025 are not yet available. Police note there could be more incidents that haven't been reported. Manitoba's premier is expected to visit Pimicikamak Cree Nation this week to survey damage caused by an extended power failure. Premier Wabkinu's visit to the Northern First Nation is planned for Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Manitoba government says it has asked Ottawa for military help to be sent to Pimicikamak, whose residents were forced out over the holidays when a power line failed, plunging the community into darkness. Power was restored last week, but the community's water plants, along with pumps, tanks, and pipes, froze in the outage. Chief David Monia says there's no timeline to return for the more than 4,000 people who had to leave. A disgraced former Winnipeg police officer who spent 22 years on the force has admitted to selling drugs to other officers and friends. In court Monday, Elston Bostock pleaded guilty to one charge of drug trafficking between January the 1st, 2016 and November 6, 2024, and trafficking cocaine, ecstasy, psilocybin, and various prescription drugs over an 8-year period. An agreement statement of facts read in court said he was trafficking drugs while on duty as a uniformed police officer in the parking lots of Winnipeg police stations and from his police vehicle. His sentencing hearing for the drug trafficking charges is happening Tuesday, January 13th. Bostock was first arrested and charged in 2024 for several offenses after WPS colleagues came forward with concerns. In November, Bostock pleaded guilty to other offenses, including causing indignity to human remains. University of Winnipeg has welcomed its first cohort of students into its new Indigenous language program. It's geared towards adults who know a little Anishinaabe, also known as Ojibwe, and would like to build up their fluency. The 3-year program includes immersion classes along with some land-based learning. An assistant professor says the program is about more than just the practical parts of learning a language.
A lot of our people, my family as well, that the language got cut off. So my dad didn't learn it, and every family has that similar history of where did it get cut off somewhere, maybe because of residential school, or maybe they had to move to get a job somewhere else. So that's that we're healing, we're bridging that gap.
The program is supported by a $2 million funding boost from the province. Fort White Alive brings in visitors year-round. In the winter, you can skate, ski, and toboggan down a slide onto the frozen lake. And soon, you'll have another option, ice fishing. The Fort White ice fishing experience will operate throughout the winter and is for people of all experience levels. Everyone from people trying ice fishing for the first time to families looking for a new outdoor activity during the long winter months. And you won't have to spend the entire time exposed to the elements. There will be warm tents available with guided ice fishing and storytelling options available. Dates and booking information is expected to be released in the near future. Here's a look now at Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like a smooth drive so far this Tuesday morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see anything out there, though, please let us know.
Copper extended a powerful rally after bursting through $13,000 a ton for the first time as investors bet on a tighter market and a risk-on mood took hold in broader financial markets. 3-month futures surged as much as 3.1% in London on Tuesday, surpassing a peak set on Monday. Expectations that the Trump administration may introduce a tariff on refined metal have drawn huge volumes of inventory into the U.S. Well, the latest energy forecast from consulting firm Deloitte sees lackluster crude oil prices of around $58 U.S. a barrel, while natural gas prices could jump. Deloitte partner Andrew Botterill says the forecast doesn't account for the U.S. raid on Venezuela over the weekend, but he's expecting little change to the global oil oversupply in the near term. Michael Saylor's strategy had a $17.44 billion U.S. unrealized loss on digital assets in the fourth quarter, tied to a decline in the value of the company's cryptocurrency stockpile. Shares of the largest corporate holding of Bitcoin slumped about 47.5% in 2025 as investors reacted to swings in cryptocurrency markets that impacted Strategy's balance sheet and earnings. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
There's a lot going on at Aurora Farm in Ainsley. That is where you are this morning. So many things to see and do and feel and touch and smell. It's a great place to visit.
I know, I'm really attracting all of my senses right now. When you take the soap making workshops, I mean, I should say before that, if you've received one of these, it's likely because somebody took the workshop last year, and this is the entire batch when you make it. I am no chemist, but it's pretty awesome to be able to work with the goat's milk here, the sunflower oil, and the lye. Coming up at 7:27, we're going to learn how it's done. And if you're like me, you've also been down one of those internet rabbit holes where they're shaving the soap. Okay, if you know, you know. Coming up at 7:42, we're going to be learning a little bit about some of the fiber. As you know, there's alpacas here and goats too. Bring your Christmas trees. They'll eat that.
Ooh. Can't wait to see the goats. All right, thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Catherine, how's it feeling out there?
You know, it's feeling pretty favorable out here, if that's the right word. Basically not as punishing as those conditions we were seeing last week. I think it's kind of Mother Nature's gifts to help us ease back into our normal lives after the holiday glut. Currently, it's minus 10 degrees. That wind chill, though, a little bit fiercer than what we saw yesterday, feeling like minus 17. It's overcast. There's some trace snowfall happening right now. A little bit more than trace. As I say that, it starts to pick up. Winds out of the northwest, pressure rising, humidity at 92%. So yesterday, this impulse pushed into northern Manitoba, and it brought some flurry activity that's still falling in that region this morning. That'll taper off, leaving behind some sunshine for you. Temperatures in the mid to upper minus teens. More northerly parts, it'll crack the minus 20 degree mark. Under that impulse, we had a good amount of stratus, and with that came that freezing drizzle, rain, snowfall, and that dense fog. We're still dealing with some of that interesting cloudy, foggy sky conditions, likely off and on throughout the day. Slight chance of that flurry activity continuing. Warm temperatures at a high of minus 7 degrees, but if you can believe it, we get even warmer tomorrow under the sunshine. That's the good news, with a high of minus 3 expected tomorrow in Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Thank you, Catherine. It's time now for our question of the day. Today is Ukrainian Heritage Night, and the Jets are playing against the Vegas Golden Knights. So we're asking, will the Jets put an end to the losing streak tonight? What do they need to do? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back right after this.
Give a child a winter coat. You give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. A 14-year-old is facing charges after an incident last fall in which a transit driver was shot with a pellet gun. It happened along this route in East Kildonan back on October 27th. Police believe the driver was shot in the hand over a fare dispute. The force says the youth was arrested at his home Sunday. He's charged with assault with a weapon, failure to comply with an undertaking, and mischief under $5,000. The general manager of the Winnipeg Jets addressed the media Monday as the team is bogged down in a 9-game losing streak. But Kevin Cheveldayoff didn't have many answers as to why or what's being done about it.
You know, again, very disappointed. You know, didn't necessarily see it coming, but if you look at all the different things, it's a tough league to win in, and certainly the situation that we're in with, be it 1-goal games, be it giving not maybe playing to the defensive structure that has become our signature for the last couple of years. All of a sudden you find yourself in this predicament.
Cheveldayoff added, it's up to everyone in the organization to find ways to get better as the team works to climb out of the basement 1 year after being ranked the best team in the league. He was also non-committal when asked about calling up players not currently on the roster, such as prospects from the Moose or elsewhere in the league, only saying conversations are ongoing. Cheveldayoff was also asked his thoughts on how head coach Scott Arneal is doing.
Scott and his coaching staff, are working extremely hard. There's no ifs, ands about that. Again, I think there's a frustration level, with them as well. From a coaching perspective, again, they're trying to do everything that they can. From a management perspective, we have to look at different, avenues at some point in time here to see if there is something available. But again, it's not an ideal situation, and I know they feel the same disappointment that I do.
After 40 games played, the Jets currently sit in last place in the NHL with a 15-21-4 record with 34 points. The team kicks off a 5-game homestand tonight at 7 p.m. against the Vegas Golden Knights. Here's a look now at what's happening in traffic at Confusion Corner. Things are picking up over here, as you can see, but overall moving well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A star from the Marvel movies is revealing some details about a major health struggle. Evangeline Lilly says she is suffering from brain damage. The actress fainted and hit her head on a rock at a beach several months ago. She was diagnosed with a concussion at that time. Now the 46-year-old says scans have shown almost every area of her brain is functioning at a decreased capacity. Lilly stars in the Ant-Man franchise and was previously on the hit show Lost. She says she's getting ready to start the hard work of recovery after enjoying a restful Christmas. And this will come as welcome news to fans of Stranger Things. The popular Netflix series is not quite finished.
Writing the last lines that these characters would ever say, it was really hard to do.
The series finale was broadcast on December 31st, but the streaming company has announced an upcoming documentary about the final season. Netflix says it follows the cast, creators, and crew as they worked on season 5. One Last Adventure, the making of Stranger Things 5, will premiere next Monday. And Toronto says hosting Taylor Swift for 6 shows was worth the cost. A report says Toronto spent $3.6 million during the Swift's 2024 run in the city. Most of that money went to policing. But the report also says the concerts generated $152 million in spending in the city. Government revenue comes out to $40 million. The city says the Taylor Swift experience gives valuable information to host other big events like next year's World Cup. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 tonight with Will Trent. High Potential is on at 8. Catch the Rookie at 9. Best Medicine wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Taking a look outside, it's minus 10 degrees at this hour, minus 17 with that wind chill. It is overcast, slightly snowy depending on where you're at, some very trace amounts there. Winds out of the northwest, light at 15 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 92%. So yes, while we are in store for another above seasonal day, we're not going to do quite as warm values as we did yesterday. And you can tell that already by the way we're starting off the day. It's a little cool depending on where you're at, minus 17 degrees in Swan River most notably. The rest of us, though, not terrible at minus 8 in Morden and Winkler, minus 9 in Portage La Prairie. The Wheat City at minus 12 degrees this hour. To the north, temperatures chillier to be sure, and also when you factor in the wind chill, it's feeling upwards of minus 30 in Thompson, and it's likely to persist throughout the morning. So if you must spend time outside, really bundle up, dress to those conditions, because as we know, it can be quite dangerous if you are not. In terms of our school day forecast, as you put the kids on the bus, it'll be about minus 9 degrees. There will be a slight chance of flurries throughout the day, about a 30% shot. Cloudy skies, also the case as they take lunch, as temperatures dip to rise to minus 7, which way are we going? And cooling off on the way home slightly at minus 8 degrees. In fact, our high is minus 7, minus 13 is what's more typical. We'll deal with that flurry activity risk throughout the day. Overnight, skies stay partly cloudy with temperatures dipping down to minus 11. Winds shift out of the west and ramp up at 20 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, look how gorgeous. A high of minus 2 degrees under that sunny sky. We stay clear into Thursday with a high of minus 6. In fact, those above seasonal values persist into Saturday when we get a bit of a cool off, but it's pretty temporary. Your Skywatch picture of the day. Nancy spotted this buck and was ready with her camera. Thanks so much for sending that in, Nancy. And if you've got any weather pictures to share, we would love to see them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Catherine. If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Center, and this is your last chance to win tickets. 6 winners will get 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. Make it right and don't miss out on that chance. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the key word, renovation. Good luck. An Abbotsford, BC senior is turning unimaginable loss into powerful acts of kindness. Instead of retreating from the world, he's choosing connection by offering hope to strangers who need it most. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
This is not how Paul Jenkinson anticipated he'd be spending his retirement.
I'm doing my best, but I'm picking up the pieces.
Putting himself back together after his 45-year marriage ended and his daughter died.
Rather than lean into darkness and death, I've chosen to lean into love and lean into life.
After living for 71 years and working as a social worker for more than 40, Paul has learned that how we respond to adversity is a choice. And the choice he's made was inspired by his granddaughter, who lost her mom.
And my granddaughter said, Opa, you really need to let people know that they're not alone.
So Paul is choosing to volunteer his time to be of service to others.
I can take these skills and this pain and transform that into a listening place that's full of compassion.
For the past 6 months,
you talk, I'll listen.
Paul's been setting up in public spaces.
No judgment, no shaming.
So people know they're not alone.
But I see beautiful things in people, and I let them know.
And not just here. He's traveling across the country. Since starting on the East Coast, Paul says he's made 50 stops and listened to more than 800 people.
That's awesome. I think it's really fantastic. I think it's lovely that you can find someone who will sit and listen to you.
There's a teaching to love your neighbor. And really, in many ways, you can't love your neighbor if you don't know your neighbor.
And Paul now knows there's far more than unites us than divides us, and far more people who want to help us than harm us.
People are actually more loving than hateful.
As Paul continues his journey across BC, on his way to the Northern Territories before wrapping up his journey in Newfoundland, he's hoping others will also be inspired to transform their pain into purpose.
Just take the one step towards hope, towards love, towards kindness, just one step. Once the ship is moving, you'll be amazed.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Abbotsford.
Ainsley McPhail is live at Aurora Farm this morning. We're going to find out a little bit more about the winter soap workshops there. Stay with us. Ainsley McPhail is live at Aurora Farm this morning, where you can learn how to make some pretty beautiful pieces of soap. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Well, as you said earlier, it looks like cake, but that's okay. It's nice and smooth to put on your hands, and there is an abundance here, I'll tell you that much. Ainsley is joining me. So Ainsley and Ainsley are going to tell you all about soap and these workshops. You can make it all yourself.
Yeah, our soap workshops have become quite popular, but we're doing more dates in the winter, so I'd love to tell people about them.
Okay, how does it all work?
So soap making is also kind of a chemistry lesson. I'm not a chemist, but I teach you what I know. So by combining lye with sunflower oil or any fat, it creates a soap molecule. So we also add in goat milk because it's really moisturizing to the skin. Sorry. And as you'll see outside, there are lots of goats here.
I'll let you clear your throat there, but I'm really mesmerized by all of the different patterns and even what you can sprinkle on top.
Yeah, that ends up being the favorite of people. So it's fun to design your scent, of course, and you can split your batch in half, but the colors and swirling the colors, it's a really fun way to be creative. That's really low stakes. So a lot of people who don't want to, are worried about their soap not turning out, it always turns out beautiful. I make sure of that.
Yes, you're very particular. What are some of the options? Because here you've got dozens.
Yeah, so we have like at least 10 different essential oil options when you come. You can also bring your own. We also have 4 or 5 different color options. We've got 4 or 5 different exfoliants and probably almost a dozen different toppings that you could put on, from sparkles to salt to flower petals, all sorts of things.
What surprises people?
Really just how they turn out and how many soaps you end up getting. So it's 24 bars, which people don't realize until they see it poured and cut. You can also split your batch in half, so you end up with 12 of each type. It's great for gifts or just for people who love our soap. It's a great way to stock up for the whole year.
Do you have a favorite? I guess I'm putting you on the spot here.
I always say my favorite changes all the time, but this time of year I love the cinnamon and clove ones, but in the summer it's definitely bergamot.
And how many of these do you have available, like the workshops themselves? Because I'm sure people are watching and they're going to want to sign up.
Yeah, totally. I think I have 4 dates up right now, but we're going to add more as needed. So don't worry if they're sold out. I will add more right away, and we'll be doing them all the way till the end of June.
Awesome. Thank you so much. From soaps to furs, coming up at 7:42, we're going to show you some. So more senses.
All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Those soaps look so pretty.
I was thinking they look like cheese.
Yes.
And that's a compliment. I want to eat them. I probably shouldn't.
Maybe it'll clean your teeth while you're at it.
Yeah, and there's goat milk in there, I think. So maybe some nutritional value.
Okay.
Don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about. Not so good. But you know what I am loving right now, though, Rochelle, is our forecast. Because a lot of the time when Terry goes out of town, it's a joke. It gets really bad, and we're left holding the bag like, oh, here's this bad forecast. This week, though, really the opposite. It is lovely out there, and not too adverse a start to the day either. At minus 10 degrees with that wind chill, it's feeling more like minus 17. It's overcast, maybe a trace snowflake or two. Winds out of the northwest light this hour. Pressure's rising. Humidity sits at 92%. Not a lot of sunshine on the way. Maybe bad news for some. Good news, mild conditions throughout southern Manitoba. The north slightly different. You're dealing with some cloud coverage and some snowfall to kick the day off. Some sunshine, though, likely in the cards. While for us, we do have those overcast skies. Also with that stratus that brought that very interesting fog yesterday. Even some freezing drizzle in certain areas. It's also helping to keep that fog continuing this morning and potentially bring some more flurries. About a 30% shot. We've already seen it in areas to the west of us. A high of minus 7 degrees with that light chance of flurry activity. Winds pretty light today out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures not moving around too much to minus 11. Those winds do though pick up out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. Into tomorrow, even warmer, and oftentimes if we get sunshine, we get some not so warm temperatures. We're not following that suit into tomorrow. Minus 2 degrees with that sunny sky. And then those winds once again out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. We've got a couple more days from there of above seasonal values. I should remind you, minus 13 is what's typical. We're nowhere near that on Thursday with a high of minus 6. Minus 7 on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. We cool off on Saturday considerably at minus 15, but we're rebounding by the week's end. A high of minus 4 under a mix of sun and cloud on Sunday.
Thank you, Catherine. A Winnipeg semi-driver is dead after being hit by another big rig south of Winnipeg. It happened around 1 in the afternoon Saturday on Highway 75, just south of Saint-Jean-Baptiste. Mounties say the driver, a 57-year-old man, parked his semi on the side of the highway, got out, and was hit. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other semi, a 33-year-old man from Winnipeg, was uninjured. RCMP are still investigating, but at this time say it's unknown why the driver left his vehicle. Some people from the local Venezuelan community are relieved President Nicolás Maduro is no longer in power. Maduro and his wife are now being held in New York, facing several charges after last weekend's U.S. military raid. One Winnipeg family from Venezuela is happy about it, but says many back home are still afraid.
People in Venezuela, there's young people that have hope for the future.
I'm happy. I know it's not, let's say, right thing to do, but I'm very thankful for Trump, for the United States.
Luis Antonio Rodriguez Bonito and his daughter Ana are closely watching the dramatic events unfolding in Venezuela. Luis decided to leave Venezuela for Winnipeg with his daughter a decade ago, alleging there were several attempts by the Maduro government to take his home. Maduro has been accused of stealing the 2024 election in his country. Still, there are questions about the legality of the U.S.'s capture of Maduro. A group rallied in Winnipeg Sunday against President Trump's decision, demanding action by the Canadian government.
They must condemn the U.S. seizure of President Maduro, and they must demand his return.
There are many Venezuelans who don't want Maduro returned, and while they are overjoyed he's gone, they are worried about what is now an uncertain future. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Paris for meetings on Ukraine. However, another country was the focus when, during a meeting with reporters, he was asked about the future of Venezuela.
The removal of an illegitimate, corrupt, repressive government or leader, Mr. Maduro, is welcome news. It creates the possibility for democratic transition.
The Prime Minister also said it's important to respect the will of people in Venezuela. As for the possible impact on Canada's energy sector, the Prime Minister maintains our oil will remain competitive. He calls it a proven commodity, which is also lower carbon than oil in Venezuela. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is vowing to follow through on his threat to remove Crown Royal from store shelves as soon as a bottling plant in southern Ontario closes next month.
100%. I can't wait. Yeah, 100%. As soon as they close that plant, so you better stock up there, buddy.
Ford first put parent company Diageo in his crosshairs last fall when he poured out a bottle of the whiskey to protest the company's decision to close its plant in Amherstburg. Diageo also has plants in Gimli, Manitoba, and in Quebec, and the company says its Crown Royal products will continue to be made at Canadian facilities. Humans making fire could have started much earlier than we thought. The ability to create fire is seen as a turning point in human history. Fire allowed people to move, survive colder climates, and form social groups. The earliest evidence of humans making fire dates back about 50,000 years. Archaeologists have now found flint and pyrite pieces in the UK dating back 400,000 years. These findings could change what we know about how early humans lived, learned, and traveled. Tech companies, large and small, are showing off their work at the CES.
Yongbo X1 is for kids to interact in the home, and the Yongbo AI cameras for kids to bring it to go.
The multi-day event organized by the Consumer Technology Association kicked off this week in Las Vegas. Advances across industries like robotics, healthcare, vehicles, wearables, gaming, and more are set to be on display. And of course, artificial intelligence will be anchored in nearly everything as the tech industry explores what consumers will want to buy. Here's a look at some of the road closures we're going to remind you about this morning following the rush. The southbound median lane on King Edward Street will be closed between Dublin and Saskatchewan, and the northbound middle and curb lanes on Osborne will be closed from Jesse to McMillan. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.22. The provincial average is lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09, and the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Here's what's happening outside right now. It's -10 with the wind chill. It feels like -17, and it's cloudy. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Taking a check-in outside, -10 degrees to kick off this Tuesday. The wind chill, though, making it feel closer to -17, that pesky wind chill. Overcast, light northwesterly winds, pressure rising, humidity sits at 92%. Welcome back. I have the good fortune of delivering a very favorable forecast for us here in southern Manitoba. The trade-off being, while we're dealing with some very decent temperatures, our sky is not terribly clear. You can tell by our skycast here. Good amount of cloud coverage here, pushing in particularly from the west. We're still dealing with trace amounts of snowfall throughout, most notably southwestern Manitoba, Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin. You had a snowy start to your day. We've got a little bit of that precipitation happening, where in northern Manitoba, you too are going to start off with clouds and flurry activity throughout the day, and then maybe some sunshine into the afternoon. Temperatures decent, not terrible, not great. -18 degrees in Thompson. Same goes for you in Gillam, with that stretch of flurry activity, likely continuing in Gillam and Island Lake throughout the day. Staying dry in Churchill at -20. To the northwest, lots of sunshine on the way once you put those flurries in your rearview mirror. Temperatures there peaking in the mid-teens. Plus, with those wind chill values this morning, I should mention it is feeling upwards of -30, but that'll break into the afternoon. Southwestern Manitoba, overcast. You've had some flurry activity this morning. You have a slight chance of it continuing into the afternoon. Likely it's going to be cloudy. -8 degrees in Brandon, Neepawa, and Dauphin. A little bit cooler there in Swan River. Much the same for us. While we have a 30% shot of some flurry activity, a little bit stronger into Steinbach, it's likely that we're going to be dealing with overcast skies throughout the day. Above seasonal values, -13 is what's typical for this region. We're nowhere near that. Northwestern Ontario, meanwhile, you two are contending with the flurries. Highs, though, above seasonal, -6 in Kenora, -5 in Dryden. Partly cloudy skies for us here in Winnipeg overnight, with temperatures dipping down to -11. Winds ramp up out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, above seasonal values with lots of sunshine, Saturday being the only outlier here.
Thanks, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. When you go to Aurora Farm, it's not just about the cute animals there. It's also about some of the workshops being offered. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Well, what if we can combine the two? Wouldn't that be great? I'd like to start off this segment, though, by correcting myself, because I said, coming up, we're going to be talking about fur. And the true enthusiasts will know the difference between felt and fur. So actually, we're talking about felt. Louise May, what is the difference?
Well, actually, it's fleece.
Oh, my. No. Okay, don't come for me.
I'll talk about it all. No problem. So fleece is what comes off the animal when you shave it. So you don't harm it, the animal. And in fact, this is our herd of alpacas. And you can see these are the natural colors and the different things. These are ones that I have hand dyed and hand spun. So these are really precious to me. So I'm a crafter of all sorts. And that's why I love doing all of this. So, you know, the fleece that comes off the animal has to be washed and processed. We send it away often to get turned into what's called rovings, another technical term. And so that's just prior to it becoming yarn. And then I love knitting, crocheting, weaving, the whole thing. And then felt, is what happens when you use fibers and you rub them with hot and cold water and soap, and then they compress together. We know what felt is. Yeah. So that's just one other process that we can use. So these are kind of all the range of things that I get to work with, and I make beautiful hats and scarves and mitts and things that people can wear. And usually I make them at this time of the year because I'm not as busy outside. And then we're looking forward to Festival du Voyageur, where we always have our booth for the full time. And then that's when I sell this range of products, and it's always fun to talk about the alpacas. And we have a really important announcement this year. We are expecting a baby alpaca, and baby alpacas are called cria, and we haven't had a baby here for six from before the pandemic. So it's a really exciting year for us, and so we're watching Monarch is the mama who is pregnant, and we're watching her like a hawk, and just extremely excited about the spring and summer to have a little baby alpaca with us again.
I'm going to have to Google what baby alpaca looks like. Okay, head to a link on the website for details about those workshops Rochelle mentioned.
Thank you, Ainsley. A Japanese sushi restaurant owner has paid a record price at the annual New Year auction at Tokyo's Toy Osu Fish Market. Wow, the prize, 243 kilogram fish, sold for 510 million yen, about $4.5 million Canadian. It was bought by the owner of a popular sushi restaurant chain, who also held the previous record set in 2019. The tuna has since been sliced up and distributed through the chain. Tuna dishes will still be sold to customers at the usual price. Now to a big announcement regarding weight loss drugs. For the first time, one of the popular GLP-1 medications is available in pill form. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the details.
The first GLP-1 oral medication hitting shelves nationwide, the Wegovy pill, made by pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk, beginning to roll out the latest in the billion-dollar weight loss industry.
It's our opportunity to bring this new medicine to market in all channels all at once. Having it available through commercial insurance from day one and available in brick and mortar pharmacies like CVS and Costco, but then also partnering with telehealth companies.
The prescription pill is to be taken daily on an empty stomach with a 30-minute window before eating, drinking, or taking any other medicine.
This is a daily treatment, something you have to take every single day. I think that many people are going to want to use this rather than to use the injection.
And when it comes to price, some consumers could be looking at just a $25 copay per month. That's if their insurance covers obesity medications. There are options for those without insurance, too.
We have a self-pay option that has the starting doses, the two lowest doses of the Wegovy pill, for $149 per month. And then the two higher doses are $199 a month.
Dr. Louis Aroni says patients who are in the lower weight ranges may be better suited for the drug.
What we'll be able to do now is to treat people earlier so that they can get the health benefit sooner. And so people who are overweight or just have lower levels of obesity, I think, will now be treated with these oral medicines.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
to you. Celebrating a milestone today. Happy 8th birthday, Cruz. Love from Grandma Kim. And a happy 90th birthday to Ava with love from your favorite son and daughter-in-law. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
A mild day ahead with a high of -7 degrees, off the average of -13, but by far from the record heat of 1949. That was a high of 4.4 degrees, excuse me. So yes, sorry for the pause there, it's clearing my throat. We are going to be dealing with a very mild day ahead, but potentially a very cloudy one. We are also dealing with some flurries. They've been kind of falling very intermittently throughout the morning. Look for that to continue throughout the morning, likely tapering off into the afternoon. Currently it's -10 with that wind chill feeling more like -17. Northwesterly winds at 15 clicks. Excuse me. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. So we're going to be dealing with the remnants of the system that brought the fog, that mixed precipitation yesterday. The last gasps of it are happening right now. The camera's not picking it up, but we do have some flurry activity. That'll taper off, leaving behind cloudy skies, light winds, temperatures throughout southern Manitoba around the -7 mark. Meanwhile, to the north, you too are dealing with the last pushes of a system that brought some flurry activity yesterday. While you have a snowy start to the day, it's likely going to taper off in the northwest, leaving behind sunny skies, or a mix of sun and cloud. Highs into the mid-teens. A little bit cooler to the northeast, and likely for that flurry activity to continue throughout the day. For us here in the south, cloudy skies overnight, temperatures dipping to -11, and tomorrow the sunshine returns with more above seasonal values.
From wine with friends and family to bubbly on New Year's Eve, some of us might have enjoyed a few or even many alcoholic drinks over the holidays. Now that January is here, it may be time to consider taking a break from booze and going dry in January, all in support of a good cause. The Canadian Cancer Society is encouraging Canadians to join in on their alcohol-free January challenge. Joining us now is Ashley Thorpe from the Canadian Cancer Society. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, the holidays are typically a time of year when people enjoy a few alcoholic beverages. Tell us why that's a concern for the Canadian Cancer Society.
Well, I think, certainly we like to enjoy and partake. And I think what we're seeing is many more Canadians are becoming aware of the risk of consuming alcohol. And so we offer alcohol-free January. We know a lot of Canadians think about healthy living and healthy choices as we enter into a new year. And so alcohol-free January is taking the challenge to eliminate alcohol consumption for the 31 days of January. And I think it's important to note that 4 out of 10 cancers are preventable, and reducing alcohol consumption is one of those ways that we can reduce risk.
Well, let's talk about some of those numbers. 4 out of 10, you say. What are some of the other concerning stats when it comes to the link between cancer and alcohol?
So consuming alcohol can increase the risk for about 9 different cancers. And so I think the good news part of that is reducing risk can happen by cutting down or eliminating alcohol. And I think looking at January as a time of renewal, looking at why you consume alcohol, how much you have, it looks at, different alternatives to that. And I think there's so many new options in the marketplace that people can consider. And sometimes we've had many people tell us that they've joined for the month of January, and because they've, looked at it differently, they've continued that trend, for several months or even for several years after that.
We know that it's January, of course, is 31 days. Some people might think, what is 31 days? It's not enough time. But in that time, what can happen to a person's body? What changes will they experience?
So people like to note some of the short-term benefits. So increased energy, better concentration, drinking alcohol impacts sleep, so better sleeping habits. But when we look at more of a long-term basis, it's again changing habits and looking at some of those reasons why we do consume. So I think the longer term, again, the short-term benefits are there and people report them almost instantly. We have a Facebook community. So once people register, they're able to go on and join the Facebook support group, and people have been noting what they've been noticing even over the first 6 days. And those are the main ones that people report is, I feel better, I have increased energy, my sleep is so much better. And I think that's encouraging for a reason to continue on for the remainder of the month and sometimes beyond that.
Okay, so tell us how this challenge works and how people can sign up.
So you can head to cancer.ca/alcohol-free, and it's certainly not too late to join. Any point you can join, and you can do it even outside of the challenge, reducing or eliminating consumption. And so what we ask is that people try and sustain from having alcohol for the month of January. And in the process, most people self-donate and ask friends and family to support them along their journey. And that raises money for the Canadian Cancer Society support programs, research, and advocacy efforts.
And if someone hasn't started yet, but they want to get on board, that's okay, right? It's not too late?
Absolutely. Any time is a good time to try and challenge yourself to go alcohol-free, but certainly starting today, tomorrow, or the next day and joining. Again, there's a big support community behind it. So joining and getting the link to be able to join the Facebook group, it makes it not feel as lonely and alone. And there's some great suggestions and motivations that people are posting in there. So you can go through the journey with your fellow Canadians.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing this with us, Ashley. And of course, if you want more information, we have a link on our website.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Matt Scooby with your must-see moment from Monday. For it, we're going to head to the bronze medal game at the World Juniors. Canada taking on Finland early first. Canada 2-on-1. Michael Hage going to dish to Sam O'Reilly. He's going to go to the backhand and scores a beauty. Hage makes a nice move around the defender before setting up O'Reilly, who shows off the great hands in tight for the highlight reel goal. Canada would go on to win the bronze medal. That is your must-see moment from Monday. Tuesday on TSN, you can see NCAA men's basketball when Duke takes on Louisville. Coverage starts 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, January the 6th. Alleged hate crimes under investigation as police probe incidents at a synagogue and at a restaurant. What the numbers are telling us about the prevalence of such crimes in Winnipeg. Surveying the damage, the Premier is set to visit the northern community facing an expensive and lengthy cleanup after an extended power outage. And at a major winter festival, these warm-hearted couples brave frosty temperatures and find it really is a nice day for an ice wedding. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, coming up at about 8:15, we're going to tell you about some people wanting to be more active or stay active as part of their New Year's resolution. Well, we're going to tell you about an organization that's trying to get older adults more active or even more involved, because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So we're going to find out more about that. And then the WAG is having a special free event on Wednesdays. We're going to tell you what that's all about and why you should check it out. But first, the weather is pretty fantastic to go for a stroll and be active outside.
Sure is. Yes, a work of art in keeping with your WAG interview. It's lovely to kick us off. Not terribly cold. For us here in Winnipeg, that means -10. Some people would balk at a -17 wind chill. But considering last week was just so incredibly frigid, this is a welcome break. It is overcast. There are some trace amounts of snowfall falling in certain parts of the city. There was some on the rooftop a couple minutes ago. Winds are light out of the northwest. Pressure's on the rise. Humidity is sitting at 92% this hour. So to the north, let's start there. You've been dealing with a certain system. Let me just fix this. It's going to drive me nuts. Other side. Certain system that's been bringing snowfall to the region from yesterday. That'll taper off this morning. However, it has been a snowy start. And you're starting to see once that leaves those clouds pushing out, leaving a good amount of sunshine. while we here will contend with the cloud coverage throughout much of the day today. Our futurecast also shows us of how this will all play out. So here in the north, you're seeing those clearer skies as mentioned. As the day progresses, we are tracking this system here. That could be bringing some flurry activity overnight, not before that sunny day. While we here start with the clouds, and as the day progresses, we start to see them clear out a little bit. We'll deal with a cloudy evening, but then tomorrow, lots of sunshine for us here in southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, a little bit more patchy, more of a mix of sun and cloud. The good news is the temperatures will be very mild, because sometimes this time of year, those clear sunny skies bring really cool conditions. Not the case this week, at least for about 90% of it. For us today, -7 degrees, considering -13 is a typical high. I'm loving it. Overnight tonight, even our mercury not budging a lot with -11, and then into tomorrow, even warmer. Wow, what a work of art here by 8-year-old Joseph, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is my nephew, full disclosure, but he did a wonderful job on this, and we want to see all your kids' wonderful work. Send us a photo of their weather-themed artwork every day. On Your Morning Winnipeg, we're featuring one, so email those entries into the address on your screen.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Hey, crime investigators in Winnipeg are now looking into 2 incidents of vandalism happening just 2 days apart.
These events very seriously. I don't care if it's a broken window. I don't care if it's graffiti on a bus bench. With what's happening in our world today, we can't afford to not take these seriously, and we do.
Early Friday morning, several swastika symbols were sprayed on the synagogue. Then around the same time on Sunday morning, a Palestinian-owned restaurant was hit. Windows were broken and a hate message was left behind. The 2 incidents have not been linked, and police say the investigations are in the early stage. However, advocates for both the Muslim and Jewish communities are calling on all levels of government to step up. Police say anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Winnipeg police say the service laid 28 charges of hate-motivated crimes in 2022. In 2023, the number jumped nearly twice, 46 charges. In 2024, it was 44. Numbers for 2025 are not yet available. Please note there could be more incidents that haven't been reported. Manitoba's premier is expected to visit Pimicikamak Cree Nation this week to survey damage caused by an extended power failure. Premier Wabkanu's visit to the Northern First Nation is planned for Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Manitoba government says it has asked Ottawa for military help to be sent to Pimicikamak, whose residents were forced out over the holidays when a power line failed, plunging the community into darkness. Power was restored last week, but the community's water plants, along with pumps, tanks, and pipes, froze in the outage. Chief David Monia says there's no timeline to return for the more than 4,000 people who had to leave. A disgraced former Winnipeg police officer who spent 22 years on the force has admitted to selling drugs to other officers and friends. In court Monday, Elston Bostock pleaded guilty to 1 charge of drug trafficking between January 1st, 2016 and November 6, 2024, and trafficking cocaine, ecstasy, psilocybin, and various prescription drugs over an 8-year period. An agreed statement of facts read in court said he was trafficking drugs while on duty as a uniformed police officer in the parking lots of Winnipeg police stations and from his police vehicle. His sentencing hearing for the drug trafficking charges is happening Tuesday, January 13th. Bostock was first arrested and charged in 2024 for several offenses after WPS colleagues came forward with concerns. In November, Bostock pleaded guilty to other offenses, including causing indignity to human remains. Here's a few nuptials to melt your heart. Couples braved the freezing temperatures in China to say I do. They exchanged vows and coats because it was roughly -15. The group wedding ceremony is all part of the 42nd annual Harbin International Ice and Snow Festival. Couples are able to get married with beautiful ice sculptures in the background. Congratulations to all of them. Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things have really picked up over here, as you can see. No idea why things are moving so slowly. If you know what's happening out here, please let us know. If we find out, we'll let you know soon.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Going back now to Aurora Farm with our Ainsley McPhail. We're learning all about the different things that happen at the farm thanks to the animals. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. And yeah, goats, soap, We had the felt earlier on the show. We've got, we did have soap earlier because there's soap workshops. So we have mentioned the soap workshops, but if you want to just purchase some, dozens are available. Kathy Atwell joins us to tell us all about it. I can't believe the variety.
I know. We make over 50 different varieties of soap. If you come to the shop Saturday and Sunday between 11 and 4, you're welcome to purchase any of the soaps that we have here. We have anywhere from clove orange, I've got the pumpkin spice here, to lavender, all the way to black licorice.
But some people want to stick to the classics.
Yes, so we have our lavender, cedar, honey oatmeal, as well as our naturals. And we also have these soaps available in Sobe, Safeway, Vita Health, and we have that about 4 or 5 of them available, and these are the ones they'll be packaged like this. And yeah, we also have them in certain of the hospitals as well, gift shops.
Oh, wow. New products. Love to hear that. What are they?
We have several new products. We have some beard oil. We've got some natural face products, as well as some body products, some these essential oils. Yeah.
You also have natural deodorant. I will be honest, I'm the type who would be reluctant because I'd be scared to smell because I just feel like natural deodorants, I don't know. I have a reluctancy. Does yours work?
It does work.
Okay.
We have a couple of people that testified that they come and ask us several times if we have it available because it works well for them.
Yeah. When it comes to the varieties, do you have a personal favorite? Because we get really niche here. Like you can be have the specialist bathroom.
Yes, I mean it really is scent preference. I mean when people come by, we have orange clove. For myself, because I'm here, I try several of them, and I'll bring several of them home. We've got.
You know which one I like? Which one? Sorry to interrupt because we're out of time. Ribbit. Look at this one for the kids.
Yes,
isn't that cute?
It is cute. Thank you, Ainsley. Companies from around the world have descended on Las Vegas to showcase their latest tech products. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
More than 140,000 people from 150 countries are expected to attend this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's clear what one of the biggest tech shifts is expected to be.
I think the trend here and everywhere the last 2 years has been AI.
AI is going to be everywhere. I'm so excited about robotics.
AI is being incorporated into older traditional products as well as newer ones with promises to make life easier.
It helps you make decisions in life. You put in the facts, and it just comes back and solves problems.
As always, robots take center stage, whether it's robotic toys for children, a chess game to keep you company, or personal robots for companionship or home security.
The basic function of this is like a humanoid home monitoring camera. You know, there is a camera on the face of it.
If you're too busy to cook, let a robot do it.
Nosh is a robo chef that cooks 500 plus dishes across cultures and cuisines automatically. So it helps users to eat healthy, homely dishes every day.
There are body scanners that let you monitor your health.
Do you want to get that data to make the changes in your life to live longer?
As always, the latest in television technology is rolled out at the show. This year, LG has a new wallpaper TV. It's ultra thin, only 9 millimeters thick.
Basically a little bit thicker than a pencil. So as you can see behind me, the wallpaper blends in with your environment.
Not everything here will eventually make it into your home, but many products could. Whether it's stringless guitars or robotic puppies, CES officially opens its doors tomorrow and has daily events and announcements until Friday. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Can we just pump the brakes on making TVs crisper? Because this mug isn't helped by HD, so I'm not looking for further advancements there. That's my TED Talk. Okay, outside it's looking blue, but it's feeling lovely. Minus 11 degrees, that wind chill, making it feel more like minus 17. It's overcast to kick us off. Those winds out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure's rising, humidity sitting at 92%. Could have a little bit more snowfall falling in much of southern Manitoba this morning. Temperatures a lot more manageable than what we were seeing certainly last week. Let me move out of the way so you can actually see the full picture here. -9 degrees over in Portage La Prairie, -12 in Brandon, a little bit cooler in Dauphin at -14. Speaking of cool temperatures, it's quite icy in Lynn Lake at -26, -20 in Churchill. We also need to mention that wind chill factor. Speaking of frigid, brutal in Lynn Lake at -35, not much better in Thompson at -30. So if you're heading outside in those areas or really anywhere, just be sure to dress for the conditions. They can be dangerous. In terms of your school day forecast, you won't be dealing with temperatures that extreme here in Winnipeg as the kids head off. It'll be about -9 degrees. You see this flurry risk. It persists throughout the day. Temperatures do warm up slightly into the afternoon hours, -7 as they take lunch, getting cooler on the way home at -8 degrees under those mainly cloudy skies. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to -11 as cloudy skies persist. Winds ramp up out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. Then tomorrow, even warmer if you can believe it, and we get the sunshine back too. -2 degrees Thursday, more sunshine with a high of -6. As you see, we don't really break with that humidity until Saturday at -15. We're taking a break. Don't go anywhere.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Copper extended a powerful rally after bursting through $13,000 a ton for the first time as investors bet on a tighter market and a risk-on mood took hold in broader financial markets. 3-month futures surged as much as 3.1% in London on Tuesday, surpassing a peak set on Monday. Expectations that the Trump administration may introduce a tariff on refined metal have drawn huge volumes of inventory into the U.S. Well, the latest energy forecast from consulting firm Deloitte sees lackluster crude oil prices of around $58 US a barrel, while natural gas prices could jump. Deloitte partner Andrew Botterill says the forecast doesn't account for the U.S. raid on Venezuela over the weekend, but he's expecting little change to the global oil oversupply in the near term. Michael Saylor's strategy had a $17.44 billion U.S. unrealized loss on digital assets in the fourth quarter, tied to a decline in the value of the company's cryptocurrency stockpile. Shares of the largest corporate holding of Bitcoin slumped about 47.5% in 2025 as investors reacted to swings in cryptocurrency markets that impacted Strategy's balance sheet and earnings. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Getting more active is often a New Year's resolution for some looking to be healthier or even lose weight. But for older adults, moving more and staying active are important ways to maintain their independence and their health. Be Wellness for Older Adults offers many programs and classes to help guide and encourage seniors on their physical health journeys. Joining us now is the owner of Be Wellness for Older Adults, Candace Swick. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, why is it important for seniors to consider either staying active, which some might already be active, or even getting active? Why is that important for older adults?
For older adults to stay active, why it's important, and I apologize, excuse me. We want to keep them functional, independent. And when we talk about functional, we talk about moving the body, be it walking, gardening, or going into a wide range of programs that are available out there, either with us or in the community. We want to tap into also the people that are home that can't get into programs or can't afford them. We want to provide them with functional programs to keep them moving so they're not just sitting in a chair.
Right. They don't have to be soaking wet with sweat, though. They can do little things that can make a big difference. Tell us why or how that works exactly.
So in our programs, we have created a functional fitness program from beginners to intermediates to advanced older adults.
Okay.
What we do is we do a meet and greet to see their abilities. They don't have to be someone who exactly is pumping iron or is active. We want to bring them into the programs to teach them to move their bodies again, to get strong, to work on balance, their core strength. we know a lot of older adults don't want to get on the floor, so we are showing them different programs through standing, strength training, resistance training, and guiding them through also home-based programs as well.
As older adults get older, some of their physical parts don't work as well. They lose muscle.
Correct.
They also, their bones get a little bit more brittle, right?
Correct.
And so by doing this, they're actually increasing their chances of being able to survive a fall or even avoid a fall, right?
Correct. I'll give you an example. I have a client that I work one-on-one with. She had her hip replaced a couple years ago. We have worked on her balance, strengthening her legs. What I try and explain to people is if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
But also another piece I try and explain to people is the back of our bodies as we age gets weaker because we're front strong. So by strengthening up the back of the body and offsetting it with the front of the body, we help prevent those falls.
Okay.
So going back to this client that I have, I've helped her strengthen the back of her body, her core as well through a chair-based core program.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So you're offering this program right now. If someone can't go to your classes or your programs, what can they do at home? What do they need? What toolkit do they need?
So we've created a home-based toolkit where we have various functional exercises. So basically the basic exercises, right? Strengthening the primary muscles, the arms, the legs, the stomach. We encourage people to get hand weights, which are not expensive. But then we provide with this toolkit tubing, ankle bands. We also have, it's called a door hinge, where it sits between your door and the hinge where they
Doesn't damage the door. You could access it from you.
Yes.
If you want more information on the programs, you want to join in, we do have a link on our website. And if you just want more information, you could contact Candace directly. Thanks, Candace.
Thank you.
If you're looking to get your steps in, today is a good day to do it because we're dealing with some much milder temperatures than what Mother Nature was serving last week. I'll tell you that. Minus 11 degrees with that wind chill feels more like minus 17. It's foggy and overcast down here in downtown Winnipeg. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 92%. So this peak parka might be a bit of bit overkill today because we are in store for more above seasonal values in southern Manitoba today. Not quite as warm as we saw yesterday, but no slouch at minus 7 for Winnipeg, considering minus 13 is typical. We'll be dealing with clouds and that 30% chance of flurry activity throughout the day, plus light winds. Through the north, you have been contending with the system bringing some modest amounts of snow. That could continue this morning and has, I should say, but it's likely to taper off throughout the morning, leaving behind a mix of sun and cloud in the northwest. Still a bit of snowfall to come in the northeast. Temperatures there in the mid to upper minus teens. Overnight temperatures dip to minus 11 in Winnipeg. Skies stay cloudy. Winds ramp up out of the west. And then tomorrow, sunny and warmer, if you can believe it. We're looking at a high of minus 3 in Winnipeg. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Nancy took a stunning shot of this buck in South Winnipeg. Thanks for snapping that, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Hump Days at the WAG are about to deliver a weekend vibe in the middle of the week. The Winnipeg Art Gallery Camayork is offering an after-hours experience and free admission to its galleries on Wednesday evenings. It's called WAG Wednesday Nights, and it'll include music, tours, and creative pop-ups while avoiding weekend crowds. Joining us now with more details is Julia Lafreniere. Good morning, Julia.
Good morning.
This is so exciting. Tell us about how this whole idea came to be.
Well, it's a new initiative, WAG Wednesday Nights, and we heard from the community that isn't typically able to access the Winnipeg Art Gallery during our regular hours, which are 11 to 5, that they wanted to be able to come in the evenings. So for the next 3 years, we're going to be open Wednesday evenings for free from 5 to 9 p.m.
3 years?
Yeah.
Wow, this is very cool.
Yeah.
And so this is also a great way to avoid the weekend crowds because everybody, you know, they're not working, so they go check it out on the weekends. It's busy, lots going on. This is a great opportunity for date night. Or
date night, girls' night, something to get us through the week of these cold, long, dark winters here in Winnipeg.
And it's going to feel like a party.
Yeah, I hope so.
Describe, paint a picture for us. What is it going to look like?
Well, for example, the inaugural WAG Wednesday night, which is tomorrow, is going to feature a musical performance by Begonia, Juno Award-winning and Polaris Music nominated artist here from Winnipeg,
We love
as well
Begonia.
as DJ sets from DJ Oliwan Kenobi. And the galleries, of course, are going to be open to the public, so people can enjoy all of the exhibitions that are on view currently. We'll have a cash bar, and hopefully it'll be a nice party vibe for folks.
This is fabulous. Tell us a little bit about why this is a good way to target an audience that you may not have been able to target before.
Well, we believe at the WAG, and there have been some studies out of the UK recently, that looking at art really boosts or enhances people's mental health. And so we're really grateful that we are able to offer this sort of programming midweek just to help, Winnipeggers get through the winter and, survive these long, cold, dark evenings.
And it's a really great opportunity to check out some of our local artists.
Absolutely.
We have a really great selection here at the WAG. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that we could expect when we explore.
Everything. Like, we're really trying to expand our program offerings every Wednesday evening. There'll be things from like jazz performances, musical performances, curatorial tours. We're going to have a retro video game night. So we're really trying to push the envelope in terms of what the WAG's traditionally offered.
That is so fun. And it's free.
It's free.
So anybody can go.
Yes.
And so what do you want people to know? How would you encourage them to check this out? Why it's a good fit for them?
Just show up. Even if you've never been to the Winnipeg Art Gallery before, or if you are a regular, just come and check it out on Wednesday night. There's something for everyone, and hopefully everyone can see themselves reflected in the art and the institution and community.
And just because you go to one Wednesday doesn't mean it's going to be the same the next time.
That's right. Different programming, different exhibitions, and different artwork.
Thank you so much for sharing this. It sounds like fun. And of course, if you do want more info, we have a link on our website. This is a look now at Donald Street. Things have really picked up in traffic in this part of the city, as you can see. We'll be right back after this.
Start to your Tuesday. Minus 11 degrees, that wind chill cooling us down from there to minus 17. A little bit of sunshine, but it's looking pretty dense out there, actually, in terms of our cloud coverage. Winds out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising, and the humidity sitting at 92%. So yes, cloud coverage is the name of the game for southern Manitoba. While the north, you see, there is some cloud coverage up there, but it does start to taper off, particularly in that northwest corner. However, much of that region has been contending with some flurry activity this morning. That'll likely continue into the afternoon for the northeast. Areas like Gillam, or just areas like Gillam. While you're going to be dealing with that snowfall in the morning hours in Thompson, likely a mix of sun and cloud for you as the day unfolds. Minus 18 degrees there, minus 16 in Island Lake, Churchill at minus 19. The northwest, as mentioned, that snowfall coming earlier. You've already seen it in LaPaw, for example, Flin Flon. That'll likely taper off, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures warmer than what you saw yesterday, minus 15 degrees in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, and Flin Flon. Lynn Lake, a little bit cooler there at minus 17. Southwestern Manitoba, you've had snow this morning as well. Maybe you've had a bit of fog as well. That should taper off a little later on this morning, though there is that slight risk of it continuing into the afternoon. Likely it's just going to be cloudy. Above seasonal highs, though, across the board at minus 8. The only outlier here is Swan River at minus 11. For us here, decent temperatures, cloudy skies, light winds. Northwestern Ontario also dealing with some snowfall and some above seasonal values, below, under. What's the difference? A big one. All right, overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to minus 11. And then tomorrow, a big difference with those temperatures, minus 2 with lots of sunshine.
A 14-year-old is facing charges after an incident last fall in which a transit driver was shot with a pellet gun. It happened along this route in East Kildonan back on October 27th. Police believe the driver was shot in the hand over a fare dispute. The force says the youth was arrested at his home Sunday. He's charged with assault with a weapon, failure to comply with an undertaking, and mischief under $5,000. The effects of last summer's devastating wildfires in Manitoba are still present and will impact recreational forest users this year. On Monday, the province announced plans for the restoration of Nopaming Provincial Park are being finalized. Campgrounds at Bird and Beresford Lakes are expected to fully reopen for the 2026 summer season. Talabi Falls Campground is also likely to partially reopen for the May-long weekend, though the group use site and walk-in backcountry sites will stay closed. Black Lake will remain closed to nightly and seasonal camping, and backcountry canoe routes will also be closed, though some routes will reopen in stages. In the Whiteshell, plans for restoration of the Mantario Trail are being prepared. The province says due to the magnitude of the damage, Mantario will likely be closed well into the summer. Brandon's Civic Services Complex is reopening 2 years after a natural gas explosion rocked the building. In September 2023, an explosion at 900 Richmond Avenue East sent a city employee to hospital and caused serious damage requiring extensive repairs. In a release sent Monday, the city says the building will reopen to the public Thursday. It says some services will not be available in person yet as staff start transitioning back. The Civic Services Complex is home to departments such as risk management, Brandon Transit, and building maintenance. After being eliminated from the gold medal match when they fell to Czechia Sunday night, Canada has captured the bronze at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Here's Hay to the backhand shot, ripping it down, rebound, score!
Sam O'Reilly scored twice, and Gavin McKenna had a goal and 3 assists. The Canadians went on to beat Finland 6-3. The medal is Canada's first at the World Juniors in 3 years. Sweden took the gold last night, defeating Czechia 4-2. The price of cars has skyrocketed over the years. In some cases, the cost has doubled. And where's the market headed in 2026? CTV's Matt Grillo reports.
Walking into a dealership and driving off with a brand new car may no longer be a reality for many Canadians. The numbers from autotraders.ca show just how costly it is to buy a car. The average price for a new car is now more than $63,000, and for a used car, it's $35,000. In 2019, the price for a new car was around $40,000 and close to $19,000 for a used car.
But the reality is that vehicle prices have gone up since the COVID crisis, essentially at a level that makes it hard for a lot of consumers to get into the market.
There's a number of reasons for the sticker shock: inflation, pandemic impact on supply chains, and tariffs. Despite the price tag, Izzy Hutman says used cars are very popular these days.
Since COVID, the prices of used cars have skyrocketed because there's no supply, or much less supply, of newer cars.
He says used cars provide an opportunity for savings, and for a lot of people, a new vehicle is out of reach.
It costs so much money, and as soon as they leave the dealership, they depreciated minimum 10% as soon as they drive off the lot, let alone all the extras and extended warranties on life insurances and paint protection, fabric protection. They're leaving with $4,000 of extras that we don't charge here on a used car.
It's difficult to say where prices will go in 2026, but for those looking for a major price drop, that likely won't happen.
We don't expect to see the prices go back to pre-COVID levels. This is the new norm. So if you have been thinking about, okay, it used to be $25,000, now they're mid-30s, I'm going to wait it out, I would not suggest that.
Experts agree, if you're looking to buy a car, doing your homework and knowing the price point can go a long way to finding the right car for your budget. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
Here's a look at the traffic along Portage Avenue. It looks like things are moving well here, but we do have a traffic note to share with you. A motor vehicle collision is blocking southbound curb lane on Henderson at Monroe, so you're expected to keep to your left to pass and expect southbound delays, of course, in this part of the city. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.22. The provincial average is lower at $1.11. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.09. And the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this info is on gasbuddy.com. For our question of the day, today is Ukrainian Heritage Night, and the Jets are playing against the Vegas Golden Knights. And we wanted to know, will the Jets put an end to their losing streak today? What do they need to do? Marlene says the Jets have to play hard for 60 minutes and keep going, not just for 10 minutes. Go Jets, go. Cheryl is confident in the Jets' victory. She wrote, "They are our team and I support them 100%. Go Jets, go." I hope they're listening and feel the love. Let's go to Ainsley McPhail now, who's live at Aurora Farm this morning, and you are outside. That's where the animals are.
Rochelle, and it's so funny because in my peripherals, I could just see the goats bucking each other for the best piece of Christmas tree. You heard that right. Breakfast here at Aurora Farm is your, I almost just said leftover Christmas tree, like you were going to eat it. You guys, Ainsley, you guys see a whole bunch donated so that the goats here can take advantage.
Yeah, totally. It's become a Christmas tradition for a lot of people, and new people find out about it every year. So goats naturally love to eat trees and branches and leaves. So a little green Christmas tree in the middle of winter when they're eating dried hay is just a delicious treat. And you might also see Buffy here sometimes likes to use it as a head scratcher, so you might see her start to headbutt it as well.
How many do you really get? Because you've got tons of piles and it takes you into the spring.
Yeah, totally. And nothing goes to waste. So even if the trees turns a little bit brown, there's not too much to worry about. We also turn all of the little skeletons here into wood shavings to use in our gardens. And I should also mention Christmas trees are a natural dewormer for the goats. So it's a really nice nutrient boost and health boost for them as well.
Wow, that sounds extremely sustainable. How many more do you need? Are you encouraging people to donate if they have one at home?
Yeah, you can feel free to bring it out. And then we also suggest if you're coming by to drop off your tree, check out our store that Kathy showed in the last segment. That would be a great way to also support us. We recommend dropping off on Saturdays and Sundays between 11 and 4 is best for us.
What else do, and this might sound like a silly question, but truly, they have lots of purposes. What else are the goats doing here at Aurora Farm?
Their main thing is making milk for us. So they're all different types of dairy breeds, except for Moo, the curly one there. He's a bit of a special guy. So they provide milk that all goes into our goat milk soap. So that's all what we use their milk for.
I feel so rude because I didn't even properly introduce our goats. What are their names again?
So Buffy has the white collar. She's one of our milkers. Merlin, the little black and white one, he's a great little guy. And Moo is the curly guy. He's a fiber goat.
All right, I think that they're a little too preoccupied, Rochelle, to even look at the camera. But Kenny said, "Where's the talent?" And they've arrived and did their job splendidly.
Absolutely, and it looks delicious when they're eating like that. Oh, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Those trees behind you probably would be not doing well with those goats.
No, honestly, they'd make quick work of that.
Yes.
I wondered if that one named Buffy is named after Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't know. Maybe Ainsley's listening. We'll find out later.
Yeah, maybe she can answer for us. Yes, so for all those goat and otherwise spending time outside this morning, it's decent. Not quite as treacherous as we saw last week's in terms of our cool temperatures. It's minus 11 currently with that wind chill feels more like minus 17. While we do have that icon saying it's a mix of sun and cloud, it is cloudless down here, but there's an odd kind of haze. That's a leftover from that stratus that brought all that fog yesterday. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 92%. So we're likely not going to get a ton of that clear key sunshine that we love so much. It's going to be overcast in southern Manitoba. We'll have some flurries to kick off the day, particularly in west Manitoba. There we go. You've been contending with some light flurry activity through the morning. That'll taper off, leaving behind cloudy skies. Decent temperatures in Winnipeg. That's minus 7, minus 13 is typical. To the north, you too, starting with a bit of flurry activity in the northwest. That tapers off to leave behind a mix of sun and cloud, and then that pushes into the northeast. Temperatures there are cooler in the mid to upper minus teens. We're going to take a break. I'm going to go warm up. Stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. A torn ACL is one of the most common sports injuries, and recovery can be long. That prompted an orthopedic surgeon to develop an app. It predicts whether users are at risk of experiencing what can be a devastating injury in the knee. CTV's Anastasia Dextrine reports.
The ACL is a ligament in the knee, and when torn or sprained, there can be long-term effects.
If you have that injury, you're out of your sports for a rehab that's a year long.
Dr. Paul Martineau is an orthopedic surgeon and director of sports medicine research. In his 18 years at the McGill University Health Center, he's done more than 2,000 ACL surgeries, and he says injuries often appear starting around age 12.
It's become an epidemic where women are injuring themselves 7 times more than men. And the age of the athletes is getting younger and younger. You can see that at all levels of play.
From school sports to the elite professional level, Martineau says prevention is better than cure. Enter Hurt Blocker. The free app aims to flag the risk of ACL injury early and avoid related setbacks. The app is user-friendly. You start by taking a video of yourself doing this, jumping on each leg. The app uses artificial intelligence to analyze knee movement and stability as you land. It then determines if you might be predisposed to ACL injury.
It will process that data and come out with you jump in a way that's risky for your ACL. And if you need help, or if you're a red light, like we call them in the app, there are exercises you can do that decrease your risk of injury by 50%. It's huge.
The recommended exercises are known as neuromuscular training programs. The combination of moves like jogging and jumps helps to improve agility, strength, and balance. And already, Martineau says the app has reached 4,000 downloads in 2 months.
Well, essentially what we were trying to do was put physiotherapists, a doctor in your pocket so that parents, coaches, athletes could just test themselves at home.
Martineau says 12 universities and several professional teams will soon be using the app, and he hopes to see even more jump on board. Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
The Winnipeg Public Library releases a list of its top checked out books every year, and the list for 2025 is now out. Joining us now to tell us more on what people were reading or wanting to read last year is the Winnipeg Public Library's Carolyn Miner. Good morning, Carolyn.
Hi, Rochelle.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, what did 2025 look like when it came to book trends? What were people into?
Well, there were no surprises. Murder mysteries in the fiction category. Series authors were very popular. The 3 that I have here in fiction, they're, well, 2 of them have long-standing series. Yep. And this one, Kristen Hanna, she writes many books for women.
I've seen a lot of her stuff out there, and there's a lot of other different books that people love from her as well. Yes. But let's just talk about 2025 as a trend when it came to some of these books. People waited long periods of time to get their hands on these books because they were so popular, right?
Yes.
Why do you think they were popular?
I think people like repetition. I mean, even if you look at the children's most popular titles, they're graphic novels in series, and the authors have many titles and many repeating characters. People like to read what they're familiar with and what they feel, it's for comfort.
And do you think that they're following the trends? And like, there's this whole book talk thing, right, online. Yes. Do you think that they're following with these people are like professional book readers, it seems like. Do you think they're following with that?
Absolutely. People love reading along with friends and on social media.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought a bunch of books here, a little bit of everything from adults to youth. Tell us about the first 3 books. You said these are murder mysteries, which is interesting.
Well, 2 of them, the first 2 in series, one by Louise Penny and one by Michael Connolly. The Michael Connolly one is the Ballard and Bosch series. So he's been writing about these characters for years, like decades now. And he's well, there's a TV series about, that's another tie. People love things that are tied in with shows. Shows. So again, like the YA
games,
yes,
which we'll get to.
Yes, and actually the Louise Penny series has a TV show.
What is it?
3 Pines.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't even have known that. That's really interesting. Okay.
Also Canadian.
Which is lovely.
Yes.
Okay, and then you were talking about the Nightingale, or sorry, the Women.
The Women.
She also wrote the Nightingale. That's why I bring that up.
Which the Briar Club, the Rose Club, the Huntress. Yeah.
And so, what genre is this?
I would call it women's literature in a non-denigrating way.
Which I love. Okay, and it's fun and sometimes a heart breaker.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing to do. Okay, Mark Carney's book, biography, an autobiography.
Actually, I haven't read it. I think it's more about his politics and his vision for the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was a big popular book.
Well, it's funny because he wrote it in 2021, and all of a sudden in 2025,
everybody wanted to
it was
get their hands
very,
on it.
very popular.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right, so this one here is a local book, obviously, local author.
And I wanted to highlight that the Canadian content and local content and Indigenous content, very popular with our readers.
And his father, Murray Sinclair, of course, well known with the Truth and Reconciliation Report.
Yes.
And let's talk about the youth. We're almost out of time already. The Hunger Games continues to be a series that kids are reading.
Yes.
This is the latest one. It's well worn. As you can see, it's thick.
It's actually my child's book. I had to pull it out of her closet.
That's so funny. This title is what?
Well, this one, this is not the most popular one. I can't even remember.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yes, the newest one is Sunrise on the Reaping.
Okay.
But I couldn't find it because it's checked out.
It's all gone. All right, what do you think is going to be the trend in 2026?
Continuing with local, Mark Critch, Elbows Up, like anything to do with Canadian politics and values, very trendy right now.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Again, if you want more information on the Winnipeg Public Library and some of the services and some of the books that are popular, check out our website.
Not a bad day to stay inside with a bit of a read, maybe a mystery in keeping with this gloomy start to our day. It's minus 11 degrees with that wind chill feeling more like minus 17. Even though technically our sky conditions are sunny, look at that picture. It has a strange haze over it, even though there aren't a ton of clouds. Winds are to the west-northwest, barometric pressure rising, humidity there sitting at 92%. So we are due to contend with a good amount of cloud coverage throughout the day. That will taper off into tomorrow. But first, we're going to contend with potential for some flurry activity off and on, and then with that, some decent temperatures to the tune of minus 7. Minus 13 is what's typical, and we're not getting anywhere near that until the weekend. Winds will be light, but they do ramp up overnight out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures dipping down to minus 11 with partly cloudy skies. Wednesday, look how gorgeous. Minus 2 degrees with clear sunny skies. Slight bit cooler on Thursday, still sunshine with minus 6. And we really don't have a cool down until Saturday, but it is short-lived. We're back up to minus 4 on Sunday. We're going to take a break, but your videos of the day just ahead on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
All right, before we say goodbye, we're going to send you off with some fun video. A grand ice festival is stunning crowds in China. Look at this. This is the Harbin Ice and Snow World. It officially opened with a grand light show surrounding dozens of ice sculptures. The Ice and Snow World has become a driver of tourism, receiving a record 90 million visitors last year.
This is a missed opportunity. This is so cool.
And people there are making a splash. Swimmers dove into the water as temperatures hovered around minus 15 on Monday. The swimmer is part of the local Winter Swimming Association, which has more than 300 members. The festival will continue until mid-February. And then look at this. Couples also braved the freezing temperatures to say I do. They exchanged vows and coats because it was roughly minus 15, but with beautiful ice sculptures in the background.
Good pictures, I would think,
absolutely.
Hopefully,
I want to share my day though.
Yeah. Hopefully the ring doesn't like freeze on you, you know. But I guess that's commitment.
Exactly. And today the Toronto Zoo is celebrating a very happy birthday. Tom, their white rhino, has just turned 19. White rhinos are one of the world's largest land mammals and are endangered because of poaching and habitat loss. Tom marked his big day with some enrichment treats and some extra love from his care team.
He looks psyched.
He does. That does it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.